Uh-oh. It's just me, I guess. And there goes the phone, too. This is not cool. Hang on. Give me 1 second.
Well, that's an awkward way to start. Hello, everybody. I am sorry. The PC decided to play up during the intro video, so I do apologize for this, but welcome to the Rumble review. How is everybody?
I'm doing okay. How's everybody out there?
All right here, actually.
I
Catherine,
have a migraine.
this is what happens when you don't go to your bed at an appropriate time scale.
And your mother calls you at 8 o'clock to wake you up to get your butt up to the hospital.
Absolutely. How is your dad?
They had to put him on dialysis this morning because his kidneys are shutting down.
Jesus.
But they think it's just temporary because of the trauma he sustained.
Well, fingers crossed he'll be all right in the long run. Guess we can only say that we don't know the situation, but we do wish your dad all the health and safety. To everyone that's watching, welcome to the weekly Steelchair for your Royal Rumble review. If you weren't here last night, well, Matthew was, and he was here for the whole shebang. Last night was a record number of viewers for the Steelchair's live streams as well, so it's even more plaudit. Last night got a bit heated as well. Not in a bad way, but it got heated in a way that opinions matter and opinions reflect, and we all take each other's opinions seriously, but we also respect the individual. And this is what matters. I think Matthew's on
You
mute.
mean to tell me you did not think the Women's Royal Rumble was the greatest ever? Because that's some of the discord I've been seeing on social media.
I think it depends on the circumstance. I think Matthew's trying to get his sound back. Either that or he's on a call, I don't know. I'm assuming he's muted himself. I'm going to say Matthew's sound is like CM Punk's Rumble win.
Ooh.
Give me 1 second, guys. I have to work through something here real quick.
There we go. Thought as much. we'll carry on whilst he's sorting it.
Like non-existing?
Yeah, absolutely. But we have got a lot to get through, and
before we get started, how was that Man U game today?
I could ask you the same about the Man City game.
I didn't see the Man City game. I saw the Man U game.
They lost 5-1.
Man City sucks this year too.
Yeah, so don't come at me in that way, Junior.
But my Fulham team won yesterday.
Yeah, it's not really a flex though, is it?
Not really. Not when you're comparing Man City and Man U.
Exactly. There's no flex there. But fun times are rolling. Shows be killing. We got content. But before we do, guys, it's already in the chat. Do check out these channels. Otherwise, I hate you. I'm only kidding. I love our audience. We absolutely do get in on it. We do enjoy it. So do check out Graps TV for Matthew. Check out the mid podcast below me, which is for Catherine, and check out Covalent TV for a variety of wrestling content. What's up, Fletch? I still haven't got over the fact that mid-event Jey Uso actually won that shit, and Logan, Nikki Bella were actually number 30. Sorry, WWE, I'll stay with AEW. We are going to talk about that because there's some elements that we are going to address as well, so we're definitely going to go for it. Yeah, they lost 5-1. They were also behind after like a minute and a half as well. So it really was a bad day for City at the office. Really bad day, but I can't really say much. My team was shit today, so I can't really say anything. But my Italian side is winning at least, so that's a result. We'll see how long that lasts. But before we get into this, just preliminary thoughts on the Rumble itself. Catherine, I'll come to you first. Just your preliminary thoughts on this Royal Rumble, and obviously we are going to go through it. And there's what people will not highlight is there were some good moments last night, but the good moments doesn't outweigh the negative. So what are you thinking? What have you got for me?
Prelim thoughts. Oh my god, I thought it was boring as hell. I thought it was actually boring. Like, the women's rumble was boring. The Cody match was boring. The 2 out of 3 falls match was atrocious. The men's rumble was okay, except for the outcome, which I suppose we'll talk about later.
The way you put it, absolutely. We're certainly going to see what's the reality of it. Fletcher saying Speed get the most fun spot of the night, and oh boy, Braun to that spear. Personally, I think Braun to that spear is a message to get rid of these clowns. Scott Steiner, if only you were there, mate, to drop a Steiner recliner on them last night.
Oh, he was on Twitter talking about that. He's like, has anybody checked on him today to see if he's alive?
You little shit. The headphones have actually died.
No, I don't think McIntyre walking out was a work. I think he's finally I think he realized he shouldn't have signed on the dotted line.
I think for now, realistically, just by obviously it is a common mantra and understanding of just saying it's signed on the dotted line, but we don't even know what actually happened last night with McIntyre. Like, nobody actually knows. Apparently, according to PW Insider Spot, this is what they've said. I mean, I don't know if like looking into it as much really as the man of it, but I have seen the report and they've said that some like people had to just get their moves in last night and then the elimination was wrong. Is Drew McIntyre trying to say that he was upset that he got eliminated, or is he trying to say that somebody else was supposed to eliminate him last night and it went horribly wrong? Like, that's actually a question that we might need to ask when we get to the Rumble match itself. But there's some real moments there of I'm not sure. James, good to see you. Big result for you this weekend, my friend. Watched the whole show on Netflix. Wasn't at all thrilled, to be honest. If you know how I feel about presentation of a wrestling show, you'll know how I felt about the Royal Rumble. Still trying to understand what Irene was trying to... Fuck knows. I will figure that out one day. Been hearing some rumours about McIntyre. Well, that's karma. Yeah. I have some deliberating questions about the big man, but we'll see how it does come to fruition, how it does unfold in the... Do you want to say days to come, weeks to come? But we're certainly going to get an answer. But that's the reality. Fernando is straight in. Behave. There we go. Saying loves to take the piss when it wants to. The Royal Rumble was trash. Come on. This is acting up for me again. This is taking the piss.
As many as his
He's
as
saying
many as he needs. I have a feeling they're going to belt
100%.
him at WrestleMania, though.
It looks it. And the worst Rumble ever, says Fernando. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put you two guys in charge for a minute. So I'll let you run it for just 2 minutes, Catherine, whilst I destroy this PC. Not figuratively, but
Don't kill your
realistically.
PC, Reece. Don't break your PC. And I think Matthew's still working on his sound issue. I don't know. I don't think Matthew has his sound working yet. So, Fernando, why was it the worst Royal Rumble ever? What did you not like about it? besides the fact that a majority of it was predictable. It was very mid and yes, it was very mid and predictable, which I think is why we got the outcome we did for the men. What were your expectations going into the show? James said. Mm, below hell? I don't know. I didn't have any expectations going into a WWE show. Why would I? Jay winning was, yes, Fernando. Jay winning was the stupidest decision. But I will give you my opinion on why I think they let him win. I think they've seen all the discourse and everybody picking CM Punk or John Cena to win. So they're like, well, let's screw with the fans this time and make it unpredictable, and we will let Jay Uso win. Or my second theory is Rikishi got into their ear and says, if you don't let my son win, there's going to be hell to pay. And I mean, and who doesn't love the, as Reece says, the Samoan Orange Cassidy? Don't y'all all love Jey Uso? And now we can do the yeet from each side of the globe and be cheering him on at WrestleMania, right, Fernando? Generational fuck up by H. But Triple H is the savior. He is your promoter, booker of the year. Fletch says when Roman and Rollins were doing the face-off, I was in a wrestling group chat and I said, Punk eliminates them both at the same time. WWE is so predictable nowadays, sadly. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Which is, I think, why they let Jey Uso win to try to swerve the fans. So, what other questions does the chat have? Or any statements they want to make about their opinions on the 2025 Royal Rumble? I was shocked they started off with the Women's Royal Rumble. Fernando says WWE fans chant anything you don't make a champ out of someone over a word. Um, you do in WWE. I mean, did they not make John Cena a champion over "You Can't See Me"? What else we got? Does anyone really want to see a Roman and Rollins feud in the future? Let me know in the chat if that is something you want to see. I agree with James. Nikki Bella being the number 30 entrant was underwhelming. And I really didn't think they had any major surprises, either in the men's or the women's rumble. Fletch asked who eliminated Drew last night. Oh, shoot, I can't remember now that you've asked me. I want to say it was Roman. Why is something telling me it was Roman? Jay is the worst Royal Rumble winner ever, Maria says. Yes, but a lot of the grifter podcasters have said that this is the best Royal Rumble ever. James says, I think you'll have Reigns, Rollins, and Punk all in the Elimination Chamber match. Yes. And you might as well add Cena to that after his comments at the scrum last night, where he just gave a statement and he didn't actually take questions from the, well, I ain't calling them journalists, from the so-called media. So if there's, and if I'm not mistaken, there's only what, 5 spots in the chamber. You're gonna have Reigns, Rollins, Punk, and Cena. That's already 4. So who's gonna be your 5th person? Are you gonna put Drew in there? Fletcher said he would book Roman versus Rollins versus Punk at Mania, with Heyman helping Punk to turn on Roman. I think I would like that much better than having all them in the Elimination Chamber. But Maria says people saying this was the best Rumble ever on crack. They're definitely on something. Hell, Rollins was the best thing coming out of last night. Hangman Rollins is here, says Fletcher. Well, I'm not a big fan of Hangman Page. So I'm going to let you slide on that one, Fletch, because I like you. But I think Rollins is much better when he is a heel than a babyface. Like, his babyface runs just don't do anything for me. I like heel Rollins, where he just attacks you out of nowhere and does evil things. The Cody match was watchable. I tuned out to check Collision, but if it was good, I will give it a shot. I saw a clip of the ending spot. Why didn't Zayn help KO? Yeah, that's the $1 million question there, Fletch. Why didn't KO get help from Zayn instead of Zayn just acting like an idiot trying to get people to help KO? Who would you want to see come out in the Rumble matches? Asked James. I didn't want to see Tozawa. Didn't want to see Show Speed, but I will say though that spear he took from Braun was funny as hell, and he probably deserved it. Fernando says he agrees with me that Seth is a better heel. Fletch says Jay is about to bury Goopa for good. Might as well have Ludwig turn on
Almost
Goopa
done.
at WrestleMania, and Jay takes the title that way. Jay eliminated Zayn. No Zayn versus Jay after WrestleMania. I don't want to see Sami Zayn in the title picture. Come on, guys. Really? Do we really want Sami Zayn to win the title picture? Fletch says, best booker alive, right? WWE Meat Riders. Yeah, Fletch. Matthew's working on his sound. That's why his mic is off.
All right, my mic works just fine. I had an emergency I had to take care of with work.
And Matt is back. Yay!
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. So I take it that Reece is doing something himself too here.
Yeah, he's having computer issues.
Oh, okay. So we're all having them. That's good. Yeah. So, where are we at on this thing?
Fernando says Sammy doesn't need to be anywhere near the World Championship scene. What do you think?
I wouldn't disagree, but we all know what's getting ready to happen in Saudi. So, I mean, the only way, in all honesty, the only way you're ever going to get change is if instead of sitting here in the chat room and sitting around here, you know, and I get it. And don't get me wrong, I really appreciate it, and I always appreciate the views, and I appreciate being able to be a voice. But the bottom line of it is, if it's something you don't like, speak up. We got the largest platforms around here between Facebook, X, Instagram. I mean, it really is worth your time to like speak up, tag people, and go, you know what, this guy shouldn't even be within 100 miles of it. If, let's say, just for shits and giggles, let's say 50 of you did that. That would create a trend because your friends would share it and everybody else would share it. That creates a trend. They have to look at that at some point in time. And if they really do, which they don't give a damn about what you consume, how you consume it, and where you consume it, the theory is that they would actually do something about it. Now, do I think they're going to do anything about it? I got 3 words for that. Actually, 4. Hell to the no. Okay, that's exactly what they're going to do, is nothing and lots of it, and you're going to like it. So then what you do is you just stop watching it. If they stop getting the views, they have to change. Either that or they get canceled. That's how television works. So, I mean, if everybody woke up this morning and canceled their Peacock subscription, and they say, well, why are you canceling your Peacock subscription? Because I'm tired of these shitty PLEs that I bought your app for to begin with. So if like 100,000 of them say, you know what, I'm done, I'm canceling. This is how you do things.
You hit them in the pocketbook.
Yeah, you hit them in the pocketbook. You stop buying the merch. You stop doing all this stuff. That's how change happens in wrestling. You don't have a legislator. There's nobody you can vote for to go argue with WWE. You've got to argue it with your own dollars and cents. And I'm not talking about money on the cents part. You've got to start arguing it with your own dollars and your own cents. I watched a lot. Actually, I watched the whole show last night. We had a watch along. Thank you, WWE, because I have one minuscule amount of audio in the damn television thing. So you decided that nobody else could see what I had to say. So here it is again. Live on WWEshop.com. 18 ways to fuck up an easy program for dummies. And it's even got the WWE logo on it. 18 ways to fuck up easy booking by WWE. It's live on WWEshop.com right now. Or it should be. They should have to tell you why they're fucking this stuff up. You shouldn't have to sit there and wonder, what the hell? Well, we all knew Charlotte was going to win. And I'm not skipping ahead. I'm just giving my pregame thoughts here. And I tell you where WWE did the absolute pooch screw here. The absolute pooch screw is when you did it to John Cena. And I heard his stupid little boring ass interview. I don't care what people say. I'm just going to do what's best for business. Then fucking retire. Either get in there and bury people like we knew you were going to do it, or quit. Nobody cares about the John Cena rub. Just ask Solo Sikoa. 50 losses after the John Cena rub.
And how did that work out for him?
Ask, what's that dude running around with Grayson Waller looking all zesty and stupid?
Do not be talking about Austin Theory that way, Matthew.
Yeah, ask Austin Theory how his Cena rub worked out. 2 janky tag team title matches that he looks like a bigger clown than R-Truth. Really? That's your reward? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing with this thing?
Evidently, they're not doing anything with it because it sucks.
What are we doing? Like, you had an opportunity. In fact, I'm going to tell you had 11 opportunities in the Women's Royal Rumble to actually do something cool. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Charlotte. But I'm also critical being a fan of Charlotte. I'm not a simp. I'm a fan. I like what she does. I like why she does it. The 90% of it is understanding the why. I know why Charlotte does what she does. I even know why she's up there on the stage. And if you listen to her interview, she tells you. And it's out of the hype. It's out of all of that. Forget all the hype. Forget all the promos. She actually sat down one day and said, the only reason I'm doing this is because her dad lost the guy that wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason she's even in this damn thing was to kind of make him proud. And you know what? As a parent, when you see a child that does something just to make you proud, you support them. I support her for that reason. There were 11 candidates that could make Tiffany Stratton and probably make her better than Charlotte could. So I don't want to hear that bullshit excuse either. Oh, well, we've got to get Tiffany made, and Charlotte made Rhea. Charlotte didn't make Rhea, you fucking idiot. Rhea made Rhea. And so, I mean, that was not a logical excuse. But we finally are at a precipice with this WWE thing, and nobody else has said this, and I'm trying hard because I don't want to step on what Reece has got, whatever it is. But you fucked up and you got the politician off the screen by a chant from 2015. A 2015 catchphrase just kicked your king right off the mountain. Now, did I want to see John Cena main event WrestleMania? Once again, 4 words for that, hell to the no. I didn't want to see it. Still don't care to see it. He's promised us he's going to win the Elimination Chamber and main event WrestleMania because that's quote-unquote best for business on what planet? The last time he headlined a main event was over 12 years ago. Lots happened in 12 years. I don't care about them. I really don't. If you speak up and the WWE meat riders come after you, just sit there and smile and offer them tea. It pisses them off a lot more. Eventually, one of them will have an aneurysm and leave you alone. That's kind of how this works. Either that or they'll block you, which is even better because that's just a tap out right there. Just keep going with them. I put a post out there that was just as genuine as everything. Elon, you need to buy YouTube because WWE's slipping. And before they say, oh, well, you're a small account, which I am, I'm totally fine with that, and I'm totally proud of it. One of these days, I won't. I won't be a small account. If I feel like I don't want to be a small account, I won't be a small account. I watched a small account do exactly what WWE told me I couldn't do and did it in spades. There's a function within Streamlabs that I can actually present apps on there if I wanted to. And somebody had the Peacock app in their stream, full bar, nothing. So that ain't it. That ain't the reason. Go tell somebody else and go holler at your mama. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is, last night could have been an optimal engine for change, and WWE made this firm decision that we are going to have to deal with. And I want this to sink in. I want this to sink in. Jey Uso is going to be a world heavyweight champion. Not your favorite.
You got what? 2.5 months to prepare yourself for it?
He could have 2.5 years and he ain't ready for this.
I'm at the fans. You got 2.5 months to prepare yourself because that's what's going to happen at WrestleMania.
All you CM Punk fans, fuck you. All you Drew McIntyre fans, fuck you. All of you, any other of the 29 other people, that includes Joe Hendry for all you people who marked out like a child last night. Fuck you too. That's exactly what WWE said. Whether you like it or don't like it, that's exactly what they told you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and definitely fuck you.
Well, to be honest, I'm still waiting for Finn Balor's redemption for when he had to relinquished the title when Seth hurt him, when he actually won the title. I still have yet to see him get his title run.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, y'all just going to have to wait because the Yeetmeister has pushed C Nation off the ring.
I mean, and that goes to what Fletcher said. He said it's sad. It's a sad that Baylor has been booked, especially last night when he got no pop coming out.
None of them got pops. And I noticed there was a lot of piped in noise, and I just overlooked it, WWE. I can tell the difference between piped in when I'm sitting there watching the crowd going, and you're hearing nothing but cheers. I'm like, how the hell are they cheering looking at their phone? You know?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of noise are you going to get out of, oh, this product is bad. This product is bad. And I'm putting it nicely because I'm already in a mood because exactly this morning I woke up to an email from YouTube going, well, you know that video you put out on our stuff last night? Some insignificant little peon didn't like it, so we're blocking it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got a block on it because of exactly what I said earlier. 18 ways to fuck up an easy booking by WWE for idiots.
Well, Fletcher said starting with Penta and Ray was an awesome way to start the men's Royal Rumble. I'll give them that.
Are you kidding me? They were
I
in
won't
the
because
corner.
they blew their load.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say.
Great story between two luchadors.
Yeah, I mean, they blew their load right out the gate. This match should have happened at Elimination Chamber as a match if you were going to put that together. Disrespected Ray, disrespected Penta. Here you go.
Penta signed on the dotted line, Matthew.
Here's 2 minutes. Go do some flippy shit, okay? And it wasn't even good flippy shit. As Paul Heyman would say. And it wasn't that good. And not that good.
Yep. I agree with Fletcher about this. He said, but this WWE run ain't about deserving or not. It's about what Levesque wants. I agree. It's about what Triple H wants.
No, I mean, everybody's putting it in the proper frame. They're telling you to your face it was about the money. Apparently Uso merch sales are ridiculously stupid high. So I think we found the message here. You can buy your favorite superstar's world title.
It looks that way.
They don't have to be talented. Hell, they don't even have to know how to wrestle. The ice cream truck can blow by as long as you buy the merch. That'll be your champion right there.
Fletcher says, Nikki Bella back. We're back on the Divas era. Please, God, no.
And tell me about it. And way to botch that one too, dumbasses. The whole point of putting Nikki Bella in there was to put pressure on the girl, Alexa Bliss, and you got her.
Fletcher says, speaking of Alexa, Fletcher says Alexa Bliss was the best return yesterday.
Yeah, it was the best return. I actually thought that was really cool. I'm like, well, apparently they have, because I was walking into the show believing wholeheartedly they had no agreement and that she was not going to be there. So congratulations, you swerved me.
Or as Wade Barrett told Michael Cole, quit reading the dirt sheet.
Yep. Yeah. No, it had nothing to do with dirt sheets. That was behind the scenes. That was stuff that I think they fed to figure out who was doing what. But the behind the scenes going into Saturday morning was there was no deal on the table. And I really didn't think Alexa Bliss was going to hop a plane after she just threw out a big speech about planes dropping out of the air.
Mm-hmm. Scott Steiner says Triple H thinks anything he does is amazing. Well, he can think that all he wants.
Yeah, seeing Nikki was not impressive. There's nothing like, and no offense, Catherine, but there's nothing like the 47-year-old experience as opposed to the 27-year-old experience. Especially when she's got enough silicon to fire up the computer that Reece is trying to get fixed right now.
Mm-hmm. But as you know, meat writer Bubba Ray will say last night's Rumble was the best ever. Of course he will.
Of course he will. They gave him some clout and let him be on television like a damn idiot. Hey, look, I'm on TV. This is the greatest thing ever, you fucking idiot.
Fletcher says if Levesque was a good booker, then wouldn't lose more than 2 million viewers on Raw's Netflix. Well, that's
Oh,
true.
that was bound to happen. WWE is not the product everybody thinks it is, and it's not the product that some of these podcasters try to make you think it is. It is, when you go to the grocery store, let's break this down. Let's break this down in something everybody does. At least I hope everybody goes to the grocery store and feeds themselves. Let's go on the assumption that everybody has to go buy food or grow food. Hey, Stamp, what's up, buddy? Let's say that everybody has to either buy food or grow food. Now, you can go and buy the brand name, and most of the time the brand name's pretty good. A lot of times the store brands have a knockoff, and it's significantly cheaper, and it tastes
And sometimes better.
Sometimes better. That's correct. The problem is WWE's the knockoff in the 99-cent bargain bin, and people are still buying it like it's the brand name. Did he make it?
Oh, it looks like Reece is back.
Yeah, I've switched to the laptop. The PC's
Oh.
just decided to start misbehaving, so I've turned it off.
I'm gonna
What
read
have I
Maria's comment because I agree with it. Maria says she agrees 100%, but the problem is a lot of the fans are sheep and won't complain or cancel subscriptions if they wanted to. You're
That's
right.
Yeah,
they are
won't.
sheep.
Yeah.
100%. Like they're all sheep. They're clowns all the way across the board, but you'll never see them admit anything. And yes, Scott, they won't like this, but it's a true fact. They have lost all those viewers, but it only matters if it's a different company, not WWE. It only matters if it's a TNA or an AEW.
That's correct.
So Fletch in the chat, good. Obviously, it's good seeing you. Know that. Dared, good seeing you. Fletch as well. Maria.
Fletch,
Scott,
no,
Fernando,
I don't like
they're
him,
all
man.
there.
And if he wants to come to my house, we can have a one-on-one discussion, and I doubt he's gonna be happy with the discussion.
He would, to be fair, he would still ruin you.
No.
Becky Lynch I don't see her come back for a long time. Long time. We're going to get through all that anyway, but the Royal Rumble itself is just a fucking afterthought. Like, there's no real point to it.
And let me jump in here real quick too. Let me pop one off for that comment. Stop expecting Jade. Jade sucks. They know she sucks. They know they're not going to get the ROI out of her. They know she's green. They know they don't have a trainer that can reach her like Bryan Danielson could over in AEW. They have washed their hands of her. You're going to be lucky if she gets appearances. That is just it. It is what it is.
I'm gonna say this about Jade. If
They do have someone good enough to train her.
If they would put her with TJ and Natalia, and if they could not get her trained, then yes,
They've
she is
tried.
a wash.
They've tried.
Oh, have they?
She doesn't want to listen to them. She's in WWE now, where the big boys play, and they came for her. She didn't go looking for them. That's what I mean by that. They have washed their hands of her. You were never going to find out what happened to her, and if you do find out what happened to her, it's going to be some clown shit like they're doing on NXT right now, and they're going to say she did it to herself to get out of the title push, because they're going to come up with something stupid. But because it worked and it drew viewers, that's where I'm thinking this is going. Because otherwise, they could have already had heat. Whoa, wait a minute! If they do that, though, that's somebody else could win. You know,
I agree.
That would be somebody else who could win the Royal Rumble. So we can't put heat on anybody else. And Charlotte, once again, great not exactly a follow yet, but definitely likes what I do. Definitely know she watches some of the stuff I do. You know I love you. You're not the ceiling anymore.
Yep, that's a fact.
And you're not going to be the ceiling. You got 3 in there right now that can walk tightropes. You're not going to be the ceiling. Although shout out to them for letting her do that high risk maneuver. I didn't think they'd let her get up on the top ropes anymore, and either she just went in there and did it to spite everybody, or they feel comfortable with her doing high-flying moves again. And if they feel comfortable with her doing high-flying moves again, maybe the year off was a good thing.
I do agree with that.
I mean, it's one of those things where we're looking at this for what it is and not what I want it to be. And what it is right now is you had, and I'm about to kick myself for saying this, but the fact that they let Roxanne hang around for an hour and 17 minutes and bust a record.
And do nothing with it.
And did nothing with it. I mean, they published it. Oh, she was in there forever, still lost. All you Roxanne fans, WWE said, fuck you. TNA fans, WWE said, fuck you. We're going to do it our way, and we don't care. Joe Hendry, for one, I will be honest, and I will eat that crow all day long. The entire building popped for him. Hell, I think the janitor stopped cleaning and popped for him.
Bigger pop for Joe Hendry than Jey Uso, just saying.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. You can't deny that. But he's not under contract yet. That's going to be the tease. And then when they get him under contract, then they're going to Jordan Grace him. And that's going to be a new catchphrase for me right now, by the way.
I think one person might intervene when it comes to Joe Hendry compared to Jordan Grace. I don't think anyone was on her side. I think there's a few people in particular that will get a hold of Joe Hendry and warn him off.
Well,
Kurt Angle, Kurt Angle's one of them.
I mean, Joe, hey Joe, if this little shindig right here didn't open up your damn eyes, son, you're blind, and you keep giving me them ugly ass looks when we're at conventions. I don't care. Facts is still gonna be facts, whether you like them or not. Yeah, that was my funny thing. He gave me like this real evil glare at WrestleCade, and I'm like, well, not going to bother talking to him. Not going to bother striking up a conversation with him. Joe, you ain't even redheaded, and they treated you like a redheaded stepchild, son. Man, they bitched you out like it was a 99-cent sale at the hoedown. So keep that in mind when you're looking at contracts going, oh, I want to go to WWE. No, you don't.
Oh, he'll sign on the dotted line.
And I'll get him a clown suit so he can participate, because that's exactly what he's going to look like for the rest of the time. And it's no joke. Stay in TNA, man. Stay in your lane. Doing good merch sales, good pops. Pop 67,000 and not 70,000. Pop 67,000 fans, and they made sure to do a complete 360, and I saw everybody in that crowd except for maybe I could count on a couple of hands how many people didn't pop up for him. But right now, it's like a free-for-all at the 99-cent hoedown special, sir, and you are front and center. So don't do it. Don't do it. I told Reece I was bringing fire with me today.
Bring whatever you like. I'm bringing a lot.
Rants.
Oh, I ain't even got on a rant yet. I ain't even got started on that yet.
We like rants. They're good.
I mean, for real. I don't want to step all over everything. We did open up with the men's Royal Rumble. Am I correct? No, the women's Royal Rumble. We opened up with the women's Royal Rumble. What the fuck was going on there? You got all these people going up in here, and then the fucking Hindenburg rolls up and knocks 8 of them out in like 1 second. And it just so happened to be the 8 that were actually worth a fucking damn.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't knock out people who couldn't go for long turns in the matches. We knocked out all the long timers. People who could go 60 minutes and make a hell of a match out of it. We didn't get rid of Candice LeBoring. Hell no, that little bitch got to be in there all damn day.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We didn't get rid of her ass. Oh, hell no. Hell no. She hung around. No, we needed her. Stephanie, Julia, Jordan Grace. No, fuck them. We don't need them. What are we doing? What are we doing with this bullshit?
That's the genuine question.
I mean, what are we actually doing with this? This is not even cow shit because that's useful. You can fertilize with that.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Keep it coming. I don't disagree.
I mean, Nia has improved. Don't get me wrong, and Nia Jax has improved leaps and bounds over the fucking dumpster fire train wreck she was when she left. Nobody's got hurt, so that's an improvement.
Yeah, that is a bonus.
Including her, which I don't know if y'all know this or not, but that kind of weight. Some people are just not structurally geared to be able to do that move she does without blowing out both their knees. So fortunately, she hadn't hurt herself either.
I know. That's something I've said.
So that's worth talking about. Lash Legend is not better. Lash Legend is as green as the guy 123's PFP right here.
Exactly.
She is as green as that. I was shocked she knew how to do a fucking suplex. Are you kidding me? You can tell she worked all week on that fucking suplex too, because it was perfect. Everything else, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are we doing?
If I knew that
I would
answer,
love
I
to
would tell
come
you.
on this show and say this was a great show. I would love to say, you know what? I've seen every Royal Rumble since they were showing on broadcast television.
Yep, same.
And
Well,
just
pretty much.
when I thought I had seen one shitty take after another, boy, they just go out there and shitify the shit. You're like, oh, that's all right. We'll have Wrestle talk about how, you know, we're on the road to WrestleMania, shit happens, and people will buy it.
Wait a minute. Since we're on the road to WrestleMania, shouldn't the Royal Rumble be bad on purpose? Because that's what the excuse was for Survivor Series when it sucked.
The only road to WrestleMania we got right now is a fucking West Virginia highway with West Virginia fucking potholes right in the middle of it. And the Royal Rumble was the biggest fucking pothole so far. That thing will eat your whole car up. It was such a big fucking pothole on the road to WrestleMania. Period.
It ain't a pothole. It's a sinkhole.
Are you kidding me? It's a fucking crater.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely, keep it going.
I really, I tell you what, Fletcher. Tell you what. I pray, like tonight, when I get down on my knees to pray to my deity, I am going to pray that Paul Levesque books Jade Cargill as the face of that fucking company. I'm praying for it. If you're gonna fuck up, go all the way. I always say. This is not my usual timber, guys. I usually am pretty happy-go-lucky about stuff, but I feel bad. I feel genuinely bad for the idiots that spent $3,500 for a fucking third-row seat to watch this dumpster fire, tipped-over porta potty full of shit and toilet paper.
Mm.
Things like that get on my nerves all day long. And you know what? When Tony puts on something that's shit, I'll say it's shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I have said it's shit. There's a couple of things Tony's done that were absolute shit. Chris Jericho comes immediately to mind. Anything with that goofy-ass motherfucker running his mouth is absolute shit. Anything that Max Caster does, the minute he opens his mouth, diarrhea just flies the fuck out of it. It's
Hi,
nothing but
guys.
shit.
Absolutely, no, it was not.
Well, I take anything Guy says with a grain of salt because he's a WWEer.
He's
So-
not. He's not really. He's a
cage. He's a cage match guy. What's up, Nathan? I mean, yeah, it was nice to see Alexa, but apart from that, she's got nothing. Like, genuinely, last night was the worst pay-per-view I've seen from WWE in a long time.
Oh yeah, it was horrible.
If AEW did a shit pay, like on it doesn't matter what company it is. It's just they'll never call it out. It doesn't matter. Like, it needs to be called out. Switching to
Well, the problem is
laptops a
AEW
pain.
don't ever do shitty pay-per-views. If they did,
They
Well, they
had
would say so.
They did because
They-
All Out was shit.
They've had
All
some
Out was-
that have not been up to what we call AEW standards, but it's still better than this.
All Out was the worst, generally AEW pay-per-view I've ever seen.
no. I mean that's the way you saw it. I saw 3 bad matches in All Out. The rest of it is still making like the NFL has co-opted scenes out of All Out. I mean, it just is what it is. There are scenes that come out of All Out that the NFL co-opted, and they're generating 30, 40 million views. So,
World's End wasn't particularly great either.
Exactly.
I liked World's End. I thought World's End was a lot better. I think Full Gear was definitely off the fucking chain. But, I mean, yeah, All Out had its moments. And the moments that everybody's bitching about are not the ones I'm talking about.
Plain
Yeah.
and simple when it comes to these things, just don't lie.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't good for a reason. And until you accept that, I can't help you.
Yeah. But the Royal Rumble, man,
Let's also get into it as well. So you've got the first 2 entrants.
Yeah.
The first 2 entrants of the match is Liv Morgan and Io Sky.
I like EO, but Liv,
Now, regardless of how we feel about who's actually starting a match, you've pretty much sold this. You've pretty much already summed up like who's potentially going to go the distance, who's going to be the iron person of the match, who's actually going to be the one that you essentially get behind. Are you going to get behind Liv Morgan in that reality, or are you going to get behind Io Sky? Who's going to come out next? Who's going to be the actual first entrant into the match? Because 1 and 2 is the exact same entrant. The only difference is whoever gets eliminated first is not going to last the longest.
right.
And we see the reality of who's going to be the longest. But now the guys saying I'm interested to see where they go at WrestleMania. So I know exactly where they're going, death row. But that's one way to put it. Like, honest to God, like this could well be one of the worst roads to WrestleMania since 2011.
Oh, and they're coming your way too, because they're not making the money here, so they're heading over to Europe to finish this thing.
I know they're over here in March.
Yeah.
Tickets are extortionate.
Yeah, exactly.
well, how
I'm
do you
not-
expect them to keep setting record gates?
A record gate doesn't mean anything to me. The product means more, and that's what got me personally offended last night about the Penta comments. Like, obviously, Apollo's cool, Jamie's sound, but the whole like Penta's instantly a star in 3 weeks. He's been a star his entire career. Like, that's the same sort of thing that people would say to Rey Mysterio. Like, not everything WWE does is great. Like, and last night was an example of that. Last night was an absolute example of if you are a fan of a specific talent or you're fans of a certain way of working, last night you reap what you sow. And that's exactly what I said. That is exactly what I said as well in the previous show. Like, for anything you guys particularly like, the Rumble is literally going to be a reap what you sow. And I don't want to be one that says, "Oh, I told you so." But I'm absolutely right. Now the guy's saying here that I think it was underwhelming. The men's told a good story in parts. If you actually look at both matches again, the women's match actually told the story of who's the most boring wrestler, which was number 2. The men's one didn't offer any story. Like, the only thing it actually offered was questions about Drew McIntyre. I didn't see any stories last night in that men's Rumble.
I did. I saw one story in that thing.
I mean, maybe
If
Rollins
you twerk your ass like a good podcaster, you too can get speared by Braun Breaker.
I mean, that wasn't even a story. That was just pure that was just pure thanking.
It was just pure wanking is more like it.
It was good that at least it was Braun Breaker that took the bastard out. But,
Yeah, exactly.
But when you actually look at an only story, people are going to say, well, maybe you've got Roman versus Seth, but then you've got Punk added to the mix. Okay, but you've just wasted CM Punk's whole point of getting to a main event at WrestleMania for a title, because that's what you want. That's what he's here to do.
Yeah. And all the CM Punk fans that you thought that CM Punk was going to get his WrestleMania moment, fuck you. He ain't. Okay? Basically, WWE just basically said, fuck you. He ain't going anywhere. And they told, hey, I'm with Daryl on that. I'm waiting for the CM Punk meltdown or the crash out. I really am. I'm guessing by the next couple of weeks, we're going to get a crash out. Especially if he doesn't do well at Elimination Chamber, he's going to crash out like nobody's ever crashed out before. If you wanted CM Punk, fuck you. If you wanted Drew McIntyre, fuck you. Here's another one too. If you wanted Roman Reigns, let's feed into this third inning bullshit. If you wanted Roman Reigns, fuck you too. And if you like Solo Sikoa, extra fuck you. He's not even in the match.
I think it's an even bigger telling point, and this is actually a main reality for me, is they actually said as well during Roman's entrance, he wins this, he goes to his 10th straight WrestleMania main event, or his 10th WrestleMania main event. And
we know Cena ain't letting that happen.
But even if he doesn't get it, it's now been, there's nothing actually for it now. Like, what is actually going to get out of the circumstance? So Drew, the guy says, Fletch says Drew's getting his karma, loving it. I mean, to be fair, that is fun. The guy says, I want Cena to win, but I appreciate them giving it to a new star, but they need to give him the belt, if not to screw this. Right, okay. Right.
So when has Jey Uso become a new star?
Since when was Jey?
Been there for like 15 years.
Exactly. He's not a new star. A new star would have been giving it to Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker would have been a new star.
The new star came out at the very start of the freaking match.
No, Penta would be your new star, your brand new star. But I mean, even
no, not him. I'm not.
You're not talking about Rey Mysterio.
I'm not referring to those two. I'm referring to the guy who came out 5th. Right there for the point. If you actually want to give it to a new star in the right way, somebody who's actually been decently booked in the whole period since he's been there, Santos Escobar.
Santos Escobar would have been. I would have rather had Santos Escobar than Jey Uso.
Like, Santos Escobar is, for me, he's incredibly underrated. I think he's actually a very good worker. I don't know why he's never been given any decent push.
Because he's Mexican and he's in the WWE. There's your answer.
Yeah.
Even so, when they turned him heel, they actually made an effort of him, but he's been nothing ever since.
The only difference between Santos Escobar, the LWO, and all of that stuff right now is they're not riding out to the stage on a John Deere tractor. They're still the Mexicals. That's the only way they know how to book.
Yeah.
That's it.
And absolutely, Fletch, Styles is better than Cena. 100%.
Styles came back. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm on a rant.
No, carry on. Fletch wanted to. Fletch was. I was actually just getting 2 comments from Stampede and Fletch. So Stampede is saying the only problem with Santos, they've done nothing with him since they brought him up. And then Fletch saying the only problem is exactly he can't book for shit. And the I actually like the Mexicals. Like, Psychosis, Super Crazy, and they originally had 3 members, and then they got rid of them. But I don't think it was Hoovy.
Yeah.
But I know it was definitely Super Crazy and Psychosis, because Psychosis was ruined when he took the mask off.
Yeah, and they were all unmasked too, if you remember that. For the Mexicals, they were all unmasked.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio is the only Mexican wrestler that gets booked properly. In WWE, yes. Outside, Mil Mascaras, certainly. Who eliminated Styles? It was Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul did. And fuck Logan Paul too.
Yeah.
Fuck him, fuck his podcast, fuck his YouTube, fuck all that shit. Ain't nobody
Fucking
gives a damn
spin.
about somebody gets 2 months to practice for a 5-minute. Give me 2 months. I say this every time. Give me 2 months to practice for something, and I can put on some decent shit. He's not it. He's not the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I get sick and tired of people being sold out to that.
Yeah.
You know, he's not the guy. If you give, I tell you one thing, I'll tell you like this. You give AJ Styles 2 months to practice for a match and watch what that guy puts out there. You give him 2 months to focus on nothing but an opponent. You keep him off television. You give him a ring. You let him work out. That guy right there will bring you some magic. You let anybody else that's in this thing do it like they let Logan Paul do it, and Logan Paul looks exactly like what he is, a greenback, poorly trained moron with a fucking podcast.
Yep. They called him, they recalled Omos from Japan for nothing. I think he was recalled, but I didn't expect him to be in the Rumble in certain pass. I think he'll be afterwards. They could have got Obafemi on the Rumble and even Trick. That's exactly.
I mean, yeah, they could have put, if they were going to bury people, I mean, if that's what they were going to do, Joe Hendry could have stayed at home. You know?
He shouldn't have been, he didn't need to be there in the first place. And also,
yeah,
this is actually something about Joe Hendry I actually feel sorry for.
I do too.
But I feel sorry for the fact that this guy literally said it was his dream to win the TNA title. And it was his dream to be a representing champion for the organization across anywhere. And the first person he called out was Cena. And you don't even let him have an interaction in the Rumble with him?
That's correct.
I'm sorry, but what the actual fuck?
Well, they can't let their big top tier stars mess around with the little TNA guys. And I hate to say it that way, but that's exactly what WWE looks at it as. We can't have the Chevys running around with our Porsches.
True.
That's exactly how they look at it. Whether you want to agree with that or not, it's irrelevant. That's exactly the way they treat him. It's exactly the way they look at him.
I don't see him as a big star. Carmelo has something big. Yeah, it's called a Caramac advert because he is absolute wank. Carmelo Hayes is the worst promoted talent from NXT I've ever seen.
He was my resident squidget, though. He did make it in the squidget role all the way down. He did good in the squidget role. He nailed it. Y'all, Carmelo Hayes is about an inch taller than me.
I'm expecting to finish up with him, yeah, and maybe retire in TNA at the very end.
Yeah. But no, Melo's about an inch taller than me, and so is Camille. Just to give you a general idea. I thought Camille was much taller. Camille is not that much taller than I am. And Tony Storm and I look each other eye to eye. Just to give you an idea of exactly how big Melo is, he's about an inch taller than Tony Storm. He's a squidget.
I absolutely dwarf him anyway. So I would put him in his place and tell him he's crap.
Yeah.
And I would take pride in doing it. Right. So, Women's Rumble, in the essence, actually does start off well. This is the funny part. It actually does start off well, but then they choose deliberately to overstack this ring, and then all of a sudden it's clock, rapid fire. If you watch this live last night, I would be very skeptical about the actual match time of this. Now, the match itself says 1 hour 10 minutes, but that thing was clocking far too quickly to even make a justified conclusion. And I know this for a fact. I was watching it live, and I was also watching Matt's watch along last night. So he knows how far ahead of him I was.
Yeah.
Like, it was actual hilarious. Like the in-betweens you got between each participant. I think they need to invoke a rule. I liked how the original 30-man Rumbles used to go. They used to give you more than 90 seconds participant. They would give you 2 minutes. Like I think it's high time they actually start extending this properly.
It
'Cause
should
it
be
is a-
3 minutes. Should be 3 minutes.
maybe.
And it should be, if you really want it, and they would have been able to shorten all the other matches even more if they'd done it this way. 3 minutes, the minute your foot touches the ring, 3 minutes starts. And tell them people, look, don't do all this flamboyant shit. There ain't going to be no pyro. Get your ass down to the ring. As soon as your foot touches the ring, the timer starts all over again.
The minute fucking Charlotte had made halfway towards the end of the bloody entrance ramp anyway, the next entrant was already on her way down.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean,
It is a nutshell, like. I just find that a fucking joke, but the guy said I liked the men's, thought the women's rumble was more disappointing because Jordan had a bad performance and also number 30 was so disappointing. So you're saying the women's rumble is a bad match because Jordan Grace had a bad performance and Nikki Bella got number 30? Come on. It was badly booked. And I'll tell you who else got really screwed up last night. And nobody's going to say this in a different way. Because you can name the usual suspects of your Vakurs, your Julias. You can say Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, all that. Io Sky. You ruined 2 other people last night that hasn't even been mentioned. You ruined Chelsea Green.
oh yeah.
And you ruined Lyra Valkyria. You've actually ruined your 2 mid-card women's champions.
Absolutely.
Because they should have been in different positions. Lyra doesn't even get any reasonable interactions. Bailey doesn't even get an interaction with Roxanne Perez, by the way. Like
she did get they did trade blows for about 5 seconds. They did. I watched that.
That's like saying Sami Zayn got an interaction with the blood, I don't know, the check-ins at an airport.
It just wasn't good. That's all it is to it.
No,
I mean,
it wasn't good enough. It was actually really weak.
It was overbooked. It was overproduced. It was there's nothing. I have nothing good to say about the Women's Royal Rumble at all. I have nothing good to say.
I absolutely agree with Maria 100%. This was the burial rumble. It was. And yeah, to an extent, Jordan Grace should have been the final 4. She had probably spot of the match, in my opinion, though. That the rolling Death Valley driver on Piper Niven is probably the spot of the match, but that's it. But that is it. Yeah, I'll drop in the chat. No worries. 2 seconds.
Once I realized who all was in the match, your final 4 should have been
who we said.
In no particular order, it should have been Jordan Grace, Stephanie Vacour,
Io Sky from the start.
Io Sky, I'm kind of there. They just don't know how to book Japanese wrestlers. If they knew how to book Japanese wrestlers, I would say, yeah, Io Sky needed to be there. I'm kind of happy she wasn't there. Because the problem is then they would have to fucking book her. And it just gets... That's the thing about it. I think they finally said, look, we're not going to give them a shot because we don't know how to book them. That's probably why Penta didn't wind up in the final 4 of the Men's Royal Rumble, because they can't book Hispanics either.
One thing I will say with Penta, though, shout out to Penta, though, for going well over 40 minutes last night in his first ever Rumble. Like, he's never done that type of match before. So credit massively to Penta for going over 40 minutes. But it's, to be fair, he's one of the shining lights from last night from such a horrible thing.
You know, and I realize that we're trying to. I realize what we're trying to do here with that comment. I really do. Fair. But it's like saying, it's like saying, well, this used car was better than my last used car because the heat works in it.
Yeah.
That's basically like saying it. They're still used cars.
Or my house or my new house is better than my old house because it has a working boiler.
Yeah, it has a working boiler. It has heat in it. That it's like, well, this is better than the last one because at least I ain't gonna freeze to death.
Exactly.
That's
It still means fuck all.
what are we
I
doing?
you look at last night, and having stars genuinely means nothing. When you look at that Royal Rumble last night, even for the men's and women's one is stacked with talent, and yet it's still in social intelligence. When will people wake up? People say the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 17 from 2001 are still the best two produced for a fucking reason. Royal Rumble from 2001 actually has stars, and not just stars past, present, and future. It has stars that actually change the fucking business.
Yes.
The
Yes, it
Rumble
does.
for WrestleMania 17 is the greatest WrestleMania because it actually had a conclusion on the greatest era in wrestling. The Attitude Era died at the end of WrestleMania 17.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I promise this will be the last time, but I gotta go. I'll be right back in 1 second. I'm just gonna hit the mute. I'll be right back.
No problem. Like simply put, guys, and I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't like, right? Because that's harsh. But you cannot argue against me when I say Royal Rumble 2001 and WrestleMania 17 still clear the entire period of WWE in the past 5 years. I'm sorry, but you physically can't. Wake up and smell the coffee. Last night, you guys were subjected to a torrent of product abuse. And now I didn't come on here deliberately just to absolutely shit on WWE. I actually gave the Rumble a chance, like I always give everything a chance. And it was an absolute catastrophic disaster. Like, it is genuinely crap. And people are saying that this is the greatest Rumble because they've made a record gate and Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. I'm sorry, that doesn't make it the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. To be the greatest Royal Rumble of all time, you actually need to have good content and a good product. And nothing about WWE right now is good. I'm sorry.
And you need to have some goodwill. You need to have goodwill. That way, if something goes wrong in the middle of a match, you can actually look at it and say, you know what? The rest of this was good. This was that. This was that. And this was that. And ended a little bit janky. Kind of like
and this
Cena and The Rock the first time.
Oh, yeah. That's 100% as well. Opening the show with that. They're not going to open the show with that bald bastard. No offense, Matt. But they're going to open the show with that. They won't open the show with that bald bastard, but they'll open the show with his wife. What is the obsession with opening the shows with these Muppets?
Are you ready?
Just get fucked. And another thing as well.
Are you ready?
And another thing as well, and this is what is genuinely insulting. We're at a pay-per-view. We're not at the fucking Golden Globes. Can we stop doing the stupid long-winded camera angles so we can see who's in the crowd? The only person in the crowd that was nice to see last night was Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't give a shit about seeing Mickie James there. She should be working.
Get your ass in the ring.
Plain and simple. Do your job. Like Ron Simmons, nice to see Ron, but we didn't need to do that. Like, and who cares about these NFL celebrities? Who cares about O'Shea Jackson and all that crap?
But they're mainstream.
So's my left bollock, but I still don't want to see it. Like, it's like I do not want to see these guys on TV or on a pay-per-view. This is like they're. I don't care if you're a super fan. You don't fucking belong there. And that Kai Cenat as well. Honest to God, he looked way too happy. Like, he looked way too happy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. He's like, they paid me for this.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what's even funnier as well. You look at the entire plethora of pops last night. Who do you think got the loudest pop last night? Because I have a feeling I know exactly who got the loudest
Joe
pop.
Hendry got the loudest pop last night.
See, I think there's one other person who got a louder pop than him.
You'd have me on that because when I was watching the crowd, I watched the crowd for every entrance, and the only one that I thought got an even reasonable pop besides Joe Hendry was AJ Styles.
I was going to say Rob Van Dam.
Oh, Rob Van Dam for the crowd look. Yeah, they were probably
just in
popping.
general. In general, like everywhere he is, RVD never gets a bad pop. It's always electric.
Because he is who he is. You know what you're getting out of it. You know him at this point. You don't physically know him. He's not your big bro. We're not soulmates. We're not besties. But I know him. He's a he's legit. He's a stoner. He likes to have a good time, and apparently that translates into his choice in women too, because he didn't exactly have a 3 on his shoulder at all.
Well, he is in a polyamorous relationship, I'm pretty sure. So he actually has
Fine too. Whatever it is.
He's got a gorgeous wife, and he's got something extra, I'm pretty sure. Trish Stratus, yes, she had a very good pop last night as well. Styles, definitely. Sami Zayn got no pop.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte with a pipe. Like, oh. If you're going to give Charlotte the pyro, why would you not give Charlotte the number 30? It would have made more sense.
She didn't want to come in like that. She wanted to come in and show everybody how she could work.
Pretty much. What's up, Rich? Thanks for having me on your channel last night. It was a good blast talking some football.
My thing is, if we were gonna give it to Charlotte, and I said this yesterday, Charlotte's gonna win. This is the most indication could ever indicate that Charlotte was gonna win. Why not put it to the test and make her the 3rd entrant?
This is what I said. Why did she do it from number 3 like her dad? It would have meant more. But yeah, they fucked up. I'll tell you another thing as well that's ridiculous. It's not even a main roster talent that was the iron person of the match. It was NXT. It was NXT.
Oh, yeah.
What is that trying to prove? Like, what exactly are they trying to prove?
She outlasted a lot of people, but fuck you, she's not winning.
She's a little shorter. She's got pink hair.
A little shorter. Maybe if you spend $3,500 for Elimination Chamber, we'll let her get a little closer. How about that?
And she might go 3 inches.
Yeah. That's exactly what this whole fucking show was last night. If you're a fan of who you're a fan of, I don't care. I don't care who you're a fan of. WWE told you last night, these are our people. This is who we've hitched our horse to. This is who we're going to ride to WrestleMania. Now, Drew McIntyre can put all the heat up there he wants. CM Punk can talk about all the ice cream bars he's not going to sell. John Cena can talk about never give up, even though he should. This is what you're getting. Wrestling fans, forget that. Let's take wrestling out of this because after I started to build a compilation to give to Reece to put up on his little Titantron here, so you could just see. Took me 8 minutes to find 50 drones.
Do you want me to put it on?
No, I never got it put together because we had too much crap happening in my shoot job, and I just didn't get a chance to put it together. But it is a ridiculous amount of people. Even people in the C Nation going, well, I don't like the Jey Uso one, but if John Cena said it's okay, it's okay. Man, fuck you.
I know it is a joke. I'm not trolling, but I think Charlotte is a better talker and has more aura than Mercedes.
Yes to 1, 0 to 2.
I'll say this: what is people's obsession with aura?
No, I mean let's take that comment. Let's take that comment. Yes, I will agree with you that Charlotte is better on the mic than Mercedes. A lot of people are better on the mic than Mercedes.
Yep.
They don't have a fifth of her aura. They don't have a fifth of her ring acumen. They don't have. I'll tell you one thing, and I love Charlotte to death, but she can't wrestle 9 different styles in 9 different matches. I'm just going to break it down for you like a fraction on that one. She got one style, and it's that style, and that's what it's going to be. And if she runs into people who can't wrestle that style, it's an awkward match. So yeah, she's a better talker than Mercedes. You win. You win on that. Anybody's a better talker than Mercedes. Anybody's a better talker than Ricochet. Let's just go ahead and get that one the hell out of the way too. You get them on the mic, you get them in the ring, they're not it. I got to go one more time here. Phone's ringing again. I'll be right back.
That phone has got more interference than a Roman Reigns match, put it that way. Okay, so up next, folks. So you give Nia Jax the moment of all the eliminations. But then you don't have the decency to actually say on the back of that to her, you know what? Let's call an audible. Last night should have been the you've done the business part, now we're going to do you a favour. And they didn't even do that for her last night. Like, that's another thing that's just a fucking joke. Like, I've got no patience for it. I've got no... Like, it is ridiculous, and I think that's something that they need to look at. And I'll say this as well, Tiffany Stratton, your title reign is finished. Like, that is it. If you're a Tiffany Stratton fan, prepare for the doom of her title reign. Because she is not defending that successfully at WrestleMania. That cataclysmic run is 100% coming to an end in 6 weeks' time. And when it does, 8 weeks' time, when it does end, nobody's going to see it. They're only better by financial metrics. You're still on mute, Matt. I'm assuming he's still on his call. Yeah, she's got her one now, but after this she won't hold it again for a long time. It's dead in the sand, dead in the water. I'm not actually sure. Like, categorically, I'm actually not sure. End of the whole thing though is I actually want to see this get better. Like, I want to see the product improve. I want to see the talent actually get to show themselves and not have to worry about repercussion. But it worries me that we're not going to see that. Yeah, I agree with that, to be honest. Everything was underwhelming apart from the men's rumble and the ladder match. To be fair, the tag match I do have a lot of issues with, and I'm going to absolutely rinse that apart. But short story sweet, the way they got to the climax of the women's rumble was just fly ridiculous. And you've got all these big accounts across the globe. Well, they're all US, so make of that what you will. But these particular US accounts are all there raving and celebrating about how good this rumble was. They're the guys that will lie to you for the engagement they make off their social media. Please stop listening to these weirdos. Stop listening to fadeaway media. Stop listening to elite rockers. Stop listening to WWE Gareth. Stop listening to JD from New York. Stop listening to Eric Bischoff. Stop listening to Bully Ray. They're going to lie. And stop listening to David LaGreca. They are lying to you for the sake of they get engagement and money. They will not tell you the truth. They will lie to you, hoping that you'll spend money on them or give them attention. You guys deserve better. Put it that way. You deserve better with who you want to watch and listen to that actually respects your views and will actually give you the time of day, like here. like here, for example. But the Rumble women's side concludes with the most obvious win of Charlotte Flair, last eliminating Roxanne Perez. It's two in both Rumbles that she's now won. Charlotte Flair has eliminated Nia Jax. Make of that what you will. We then got 15 minutes. We got 15 minutes of camera angles, who's in the crowd, promo packages, all sorts, just before we even got to the tag team entrances. And all of that was still longer than the tag match.
I'm back.
Good.
All right. What did I miss?
Plain and simple, got to the fact that not only is Charlotte now a two-time Rumble winner, but on both occasions she's won it. She's eliminated Nia Jax.
Good.
They should have called an audible after the way that she performed last night. They should have went, actually, you know what, we're going to give it back to her for doing business. But for obviously doing business with letting Stratton take the title from her with the cash in. But, well, they didn't even do that. And then we got 15 minutes of audio circle jerking all these celebrities. Then we got cameras across the stadium. We got so many video packages before we even saw the challengers and the champions. Then we got to their entrances, and then Jesus Christ. How can you have a 2 out of 3 falls match, but you give it only stand corrected. You only give it 14 minutes.
Well, let's see. It starts with WWE, and it's all good. I mean, I'm with you on that too. If they had a target time that they wanted to be done, they didn't need to shave minutes. You can't shave minutes off of the Royal Rumbles because they've already shaved them down to, well, kind of like me. They're kind of bald. And they didn't shave any time that I understand. They didn't shave any time off of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Cartman.
No, they got 24. They got 25 minutes exact.
Exactly. So they gave them 25, which is what I think they were trying to give to the tag team match. They probably should have given it 30. You should have had 3 10-minute matches. And we still didn't. You're trying to tell me that some NXT Black and Gold group of guys that we threw together, because let's face it, DIY was kind of thrown together. They tried running them. They tried running them as singles. That flopped like a pancake at the all-you-can-eat special. And so they're like, okay, we'll throw them back together as a tag team. Now you've got Motor City Machine Guns. People have been doing this for 15, 20 years now. And that's all they do. They don't try to break out and be single stars. They don't care to break out and be single stars. Now we're just a tag team. This is what you hired, was a tag team.
Even though they have proven that they actually are single stars, they just like to work tag team. But they are legitimate single stars as well. And
they're also legitimately older, and tag team works a whole lot better for them. And that's the big piece of it. They've made their decision. And they're good at it. They're not just okay at it. They're very well timed. The chemistry is good. They work over the moves with the people they do them with. It's beautiful. It's what you want for tag team wrestling. They've got chain wrestling. They've got You name it, they can do it in the ring, whether you give them 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or an hour, and they put it all out there. Their resume speaks for itself. And you are trying to tell me with a straight face that hip replacement and the Gremlin are collectively better in ring, in the product, and they're damn sure. Now, on the mic, yeah, I'll give it to them. They may be better on the mic. But was there anything in this match that convinced you that DIY is the horse you want to ride into WrestleMania?
No.
Me either. That's why I figured it was natural. I'm like, okay, DIY goes out there and the crowd doesn't move for them anymore, like at all, like on house shows or on SmackDown or any televised product.
I agree.
The crowd just doesn't move for them. Now, granted, Motor City Machine Guns are getting cooled off pretty damn fast too, but they still manage to have a pop or two.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, do you want to wring out the last couple of drops of water from DIY, or do you want to go at it with something that's at least reasonably fresh and that people could have easily gotten behind? People got behind the Motor City Machine Guns tag title run, all 3 minutes of it.
It was weird as well, and this is what's becoming an issue. People were clamoring for the Machine Guns to come in. I was just clamoring to see Machine Guns go anywhere and prove that they're still the best tag team going.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where they went. And this WWE crowd just refuses to back them. They're so silent for them every single show. And I'm like, this is insulting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's, and before anyone goes, no, they're getting crowd reactions. No, they're not.
The crowd reactions they're getting are, that's not the crowd reaction you want. You want them to say it, not sign it.
Yeah, I want to physically hear them.
Yeah. And the crowd's making it absolutely obvious that they are far not behind DIY. And this highlights a bigger problem that WWE has, and basically all divisions have right now. This is not a WWE problem. It's probably not as much a TNA problem, but it's a problem in New Japan. It's a problem in AEW. It's a problem in WWE. I don't watch enough TNA to know if it's a problem in TNA.
What's that?
But the tag team divisions in all the majors suck ass. All of them do. I was watching this last night because I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a point with this. Then I went back and watched some AEW shit because I was bored. And it came to me in an epiphany. Then I said, you know what? Let me go watch some New Japan shit.
Yeah.
I said, and this stuff was coming to me. I'm like, I've got to find something to show somebody what good tag team wrestling is. And unfortunately, none of them have it.
Yeah.
So either get rid of the tag team division and build your stars a different way, or make it mean something. Because these people are taking time out of their single schedule to do this work for you, to do this business, as we've been saying. So my question is, if you're not going to put any ass into it, why should anybody else? Why? Give me a reason to be invested in this bullshit.
No, I agree with you.
And that's on all of them. Like I said, I haven't watched enough TNA to definitively say TNA is a problem as well. But I have watched all of the divisions. This is not WWE specific. This is wrestling in general right now. Give me a reason to give a shit about a tag team. Any reason will do.
They do put a lot of effort into the TNA tag divisions. I'll give them that. It's probably one of their core strengths.
Mm-hmm.
But, mind you, they've had a lot of other strengths, but
it's probably one of the key ones.
But no, seriously, I mean, give me a reason to believe in that. And I'm getting to the point of give me a reason to believe in this brand split.
yeah.
Give me a reason to believe that this brand split is actually a brand split. Give me a reason to believe in this transfer portal. Give me a reason. Any reason will do at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Because everybody got underserviced last night, and if you are a contracted member of WWE and your contract is up, please reconsider signing on the dotted line. Pretty please. Because I really want to be a fan of somebody, but I don't want to watch plane wrecks. I don't want to watch dumpster fires. I don't want to watch the shit that you have to watch to get to the point of the person you're being a fan of. And I said last night when the show went off, when everything was off, when the camera got shut down, I said, tonight is going to be the night. Because not only did the C Nation lose to the Yeet Merchant, but like folks like you, man, you're sitting there jonesing with, not jonesing, but you're a big fan of Jordan Grace. You're a big fan of Joe Hendry. You're a big fan of TNA in general.
Yeah.
They got bent over with no lube.
Oh, man, tremendously.
I mean, seriously, there was no lube involved in this. They just bent them over, fucked them, and ragdolled them and threw them out the back door. So if you're a fan of anything other than what the company wants you to be a fan of, why? You know how you do this, right? You know how this is done, correct?
Yeah.
You keep sitting there peeping the show until, you know, what I do is, and I've done this before because I don't do watch-alongs for WWE anymore. If you caught the beginning of the show, you'll start to find out why. But for the people that I like for WWE, I usually just scan the channel. I scan the channel for 2 to 4 minutes. And if they show up, fine. If they don't, I switch to another channel. And then when the people I actually give a damn about show up on television, I lock in and watch it. And if it changes up to something I don't want to watch, I just change the channel back.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, because the amazing statistic for the opening of Monday Night Raw, the very first Monday Night Raw, is not what I think they said now they've got 5.9 million views, which isn't helping the argument at all. Look at the amount of watched time. Because they're dumb enough to tell you how many hours have been spent on the program. And all you have to do is take the watch time and divide it by the number of people they claim watched it. You still don't come up with 60% of the show.
Exactly.
And they glaze over that like that's not a big deal. It's a very big deal. It's been a big deal for a long time. But the problem is it's not those ratings, revenue, attendance. It's like last night, they kept using that 70,000 number and the venue was only set up for 67,000. Should we have called the fire marshal? Because 3,000 is a little bit over capacity.
Oh,
Just
tremendous.
saying.
No, it is. It is tremendously at that extent. You're not wrong. I don't disagree with you.
So you can't believe the numbers is where I'm going with that. You spend the entire time saying this thing's set up for 67,142. I might be off on the little tangent detail there, but 67,000, about 100, about 42 on WrestleTix. I'm not even looking at it. And you kept saying over and over again, like, oh, we've got over 70,000 people in here. How? Where'd you find room for the 3,000? Are they under the ring? Are they hanging from the rafters? Are they sequestered in the WrestleMania sign? Where the hell are they?
Good question.
You know?
They're somewhere, though. That's for sure.
If you can't fix it with facts, they baffle you with their bullshit. That is the WWE mantra. If they can't fix it with facts, they baffle you with your bullshit. And if they say it, this is a rule of 10. This is an actual thing, guys. If you hear something more than 10 times, generally it sticks. Now, for people who have an IQ above freezing and can refute the numbers when you've got actual facts, data, and statistics in front of you, good on you. There's a whole group of people that can't do that. And those are the ones you have to deal with.
Those are the ones you've got to avoid.
Yeah, well, I try to avoid them. They just keep showing up in my damn feed. I've got JD from the toilet bowl literally blocked in so many ways. There's not a fucking way he can see anything I've got, but everybody reposts his shit. Clips, pictures. You can't get away from that stuff.
I know.
So, I mean, what are we? I go back to what I've been saying the whole time for this whole show. What are we doing here?
Trying to survive mentally before the apocalypse gets us.
What exactly? I mean, what is? I'm going to say something here, Reece. You can tell me to shut up if you need me to shut up.
No,
But we literally fought an entire world war against somebody who was popular.
No, that is true.
We literally fought a world war against Time's Man of the fucking Year. Please.
We certainly did.
Please and fucking thank you. Stop coming at me with, oh, it's very popular. There was some shit going on in Germany that was very popular worldwide for a while until it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. That is very true.
And I didn't even have to mention any of the stuff that would get a stream struck. I don't like JD because he's a fucking panderer.
No,
he doesn't believe 2/3 of what he's saying. He doesn't even have the mens rea or the mental capacity to understand half of the shit he's talking about. It is so far above his lowbrow, chasing ice cream trucks intellectual level.
He's a fucking fraud.
He's a charlatan. He's the guy when you go to the fair. I don't even know if you guys have fairs anymore. We still have fairs here. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, we still get them.
When you're trying to get through the whole throw the baseball at the milk jugs, and if you knock them down, you get the big Cupid doll. He's that guy on the mic all the time, every day. That's what I don't like about JD. He's mentally deficient.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what goes on.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know what goes on in his head, nor do I care to know what goes on in his head. He's a fucking moron. And I'll see him behind that too.
He's
and
fake.
dare him to do something about it.
If anything, what's worse about him is he's pure fake.
Yeah, it's all fake. Now we've got 2 Reeses.
Nah, you got one.
I was about to make a candy bar joke, okay? Jesus. You're killing the joke, man.
There we go. You'll hear my audio coming now, but that's because I'm switching back to the PC.
There we go. So the PC's finally cooperating with us. So we're still on this tag team match right now. I don't understand. What was the reason for this? A 2 out of 3 falls match. The only thing that was missing in here was the low blow and the double disqualification. I'm dead serious because I was almost figuring that they were going to lose first, win second, and they were going to battle it out in the third one, and Ciampa was going to get mad and low blow somebody right in front of the referee to get disqualified so they could win, but DIY gets to keep the titles. I thought that would have been reasonable booking. Yeah, it was phoned in, Catherine. That's just it. I mean, the Motor City Machine Guns went out there, and when they started going through the motions, in the back of my mind, I knew they were losing. And they're like, oh, well, we got to give the crowd something to holler about, so I'll do this thing here, and you do that flippy shit, and they'll mark out for it. We'll win that match, and that'll be it. That was the entirety of that tag team match, and I'm disappointed in Hunter, but I'm disappointed more, and this is going to be kind of a little bit scathing. I'm disappointed more in Motor City Machine Guns. Because you've been doing this stuff for damn near 20 years, guys. You know when it's bad booking. You still go out there and you still give the fans what they paid their hard-earned money for, especially if some of them are sitting in $3,500 seats. So I'm not just going to be hard on fans for that, pause. I'm not even going to be hard on Triple H for the shitty booking, pause. I am going to be hard on Motor City Machine Guns for phoning this fucking match in because they had an opportunity of a lifetime to make DIY look like the fucktards that they are, and they chose to phone it in and play ball. There's a lot of things they could have done to make them look like the fucktards that this tag team really is. They had no problems doing it to Waller and the Kid. They had no problems big broing them. They made them look like absolute idiots. No problem whatsoever. You get in there with a couple other veterans who look like absolute idiots. And it was like, no. We're just going to phone this in because we don't want to make the tag champs look bad. But that's the end of my discussion on that one. It was a horrible match. Wrong team won. Now we got to, it's like fucking Groundhog Day all over again. We got to wake up with fucking DIY as the champions doing the same bullshit on Friday. I may not even watch Friday. It's that bad. So we got another month or so of this bullshit. Actually longer than that because you know damn good and well we ain't getting a tag team match at WrestleMania. God forbid they put a tag team match in there. So we know we ain't getting that. Yeah. Unless it's the War Raiders fighting against Judgment Day for the 1,655,000 fucking time. You still with me, Reece? You look froze over there, buddy. We're going to take turns freezing. It's Reese's turn to freeze now. My turn will be here in a few minutes. So, anyway, like, comment, share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, tell a friend, because you know what? This is some good work you're getting here. It really is. It's damn good work. And, you know, Reece is coming. I'm going to give him a couple of minutes to come back. Just keep sending messages in here. I don't have a way to highlight them. I don't think. No, I don't. So that's a Reece thing. I'll let it sit here for a minute just to see if he makes it back. Otherwise, I'm going to review the hell out of that Chody Rhodes, Kevin Cartman match. But I'm going to do that one a little bit differently than everybody else has done it because I did actually see some good in that match. One of the few things that when I get into that, I'm really kind of stalled here just to see if Reece is going to make it back because it's going to be a very short stream if you're depending on me. Let's see here real quick. Let me see what's going on here. Let's see here. Just send him a quick message here because, you know, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. This ain't my show. It's his show. Well, Pretty Deadly already told him, Catherine, if the one time my thoughts on Hulk Hogan, you don't want to know those. I've never respected Hulk Hogan. I've never had any respect for him as a human being. I had less respect for him because I understood that whole superpowers dynamic. And 90% of what they said about the superpowers dynamic with Miss Elizabeth. And there he is. He's back like
hopefully.
a attack.
Hopefully this will work. I don't know what the hell's going on with this thing. I'm genuinely tempted just to get my own internet connection for this house. They'll go in my own room, and I'll plug this bastard PC in because I am genuinely sick of it.
Yep. They can splice it out of there too. I can show you how to do it. It's real easy. You still there? And he froze. So my thoughts on Hulk Hogan while we're sitting here killing time waiting on Reece to get back on here. I've been watching Hulk Hogan since the AWA days, and I knew who Terry Bollea was, and there was a couple other names he used. And I also know, here's another thing too. Here's a crazy story. Did you know Hulk Hogan can actually wrestle? Dead ass. Did anybody in this chat know that Hulk Hogan can actually wrestle if he wanted to? He can. Because he went to New Japan for a little while to do some work. And believe it or not, Hulk Hogan can wrestle. Which tells me that 99.99999% of all of his United States work's nothing but a grift. Nothing but an angle, nothing but any of that. The racial stuff just kind of puts it over the edge for me. For those of us who have children, I have several, and one of them came to me and said, "Dad, what do you think here?" And of course, it was not a traditional look per se. And I looked him square in the face and I said, "You're my child, and I love you, and I'll deal with whoever you deal with." And that's the way I look at it. Because children need to be able to make their own decisions. And it doesn't matter who my children run around with, as long as they're not running around with career criminals. I don't particularly care. You know, I never have, never will. So the attitude with that was just not all there either as a parent, but it says about what I always thought about Terry Bollea. I always thought Terry Bollea was a sick ass piece of shit. And when that came out, I knew it. Because that's just the way he's wired. That's the way. But now here's the realistic, and I'm not apologizing for him because I can't stand the man. But the reality of it is that's what the locker room was like in 1980. That's what the locker room was like in 1970. And that damn sure is what the locker room looked like in 1960. So considering the generation, I'm willing to give him one brownie point for that whole thing. But after you get old enough, you start figuring out who you are and whose you are. And eventually you get out of that bullshit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew that too. And part and parcel to why he's not engaged to her was her particular activities, because he's from that generation. Her activities were part and parcel of that as well. Because once it became public knowledge, that pretty much killed everything too. And I mean, not even the age gap thing. I'm not even worried about that part. That part wasn't what got to me. Is the fact that that was the reaction. As soon as all these stories started hitting the bricks and stuff like that, that thing didn't last long. Because all the boys, the guys in the back, the boys, as they like to say, they don't think the same way. And that includes your precious Triple H too, because he came out of that era as well. So Reece is still having issues, so we're going to jump on ahead and we're going to get this Chody Rhodes, Kevin Cartman bullshit out of the way. First off, I have a different take on that one. Now, I know I've been pretty scathing about this thing so far and overall and in general, but the Cody Rhodes, Kevin Cartman match was a different level for me. Because you had an opportunity, Cody, to shut everybody up. You had a perfect opportunity, Cody. All you had to do is go out there and wrestle some shit that I actually saw in the 2019 series on Max. You didn't really have to put that much more effort into it. You just had to show up with that Cody Rhodes. Just the assignment was clear. If you had shown up with that Cody Rhodes, the thing about it is the match was okay. Even though we all knew that Cody Rhodes was not going to lose, and people who were sitting there going, Kevin Owens is going over Cody Rhodes, that ain't happening. They're not changing world title pictures between now and WrestleMania. Chances are they're not going to change them at WrestleMania either. Yeep, guys. But I felt really, really bad for Kevin Owens because he signed on the dotted line. The Royal Rumble was a funeral for any recently signed professional wrestler. Guy, name redacted on that one. I kind of feel the exact same way because I knew an awful lot more about that situation. And I always wondered, because there was zero investigation done on this thing. They found him, they found the family, murder-suicide. There's absolutely no investigation done on this thing. I think if they had investigated one other body, that this might have come out a little bit differently. So let's just say that I'm wrong. Let's say I'm wrong and that ain't the way it happened. If I'm wrong and that ain't the way it happened, then yes, he deserves everything that's heaped on him. I've had 4 concussions. I've never once taken it out on my family. I have 4. I have 1 active one right now, which is kind of why I've been home for a while, because I have an active concussion right now. I fell through a floor and went through 2 other floors, sprained my ankle. So I don't have any respect for a full-grown man who can't invest and ingest what's happening to them and maintain it at that level. No, a lot of it doesn't add up. And if you really knew the backstory, they have done so much to bury him. And I've seen a lot of the stuff. But if you knew the background of Nancy Sullivan, and not that she's a bad, this is not saying that Nancy, woman, whatever have you, Nancy is not the bad guy in this one, but she happened to be married at one point in time to a legit bad guy. And I think there was something to do with it from that standpoint, but we're never going to know, and they're never going to try. So it's one of those things where I just continue to say name redacted and keep on moving on because everybody's got their mind made up. And that's part and partial to once WWE figured out they had egg on their face here and this wasn't what they thought it was, they immediately turned around and buried Benoit. And I didn't necessarily agree with that, but they've covered up for murderers before. Why stop now? Jimmy Snuka, they covered up for him and he killed. He killed, and we know he killed. But they covered up for him too, so what the fuck, why not? He was important to their roster and everything else. But getting back into the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens match, the only thing I'm going to say about that is Kevin Owens carried his side of the match really, really well. And if I were ranking it on points and who did what, where, when, why, and how, then it is absolutely unequivocally that Kevin Owens should have won that match. Kevin Owens should have won that match. He should have won it fairly handily. That last Alabama slam spot, that was just over the top. I hope he's okay. Because the gimmick ladder didn't gimmick quite like I thought it ought to gimmick. Usually they gimmick from the bottom up, not the top down. And if you go back and look at it, it gimmicked from the top down. So they had the ladder reversed, or they had the gimmick set reversed on the ladder because it was a gimmick ladder. Trust me, just throwing his fat ass on that thing ain't enough to split it in half. It had to be gimmicked. They just gimmicked it. They had it set up the wrong way for the way it was gimmicked. So he took a solid shot there. Cody Rhodes took a couple of shots basically just to please the Cody Rhodes fans, but that was all he was taking in that match. And for as much crap as Kevin Owens took off of that, he needs to have a title at this point. But he signed on the dotted line, so he is now Kevin Clown Man. And that's who he's going to be, is Kevin Clown Man from here on out. So all you Kevin Owens fans, WWE, that's going to be my theme on my side of this show, is everything you thought you were a fan of, fuck you. Now the match itself was okay. I'm not gonna kill it. I'm not gonna kill it like a lot of other podcasters have killed it. I don't think that anybody particularly phoned it in per se. I disagree with that. I do. But I think that the match probably would have been a whole lot better if both of the gentlemen were actually invested in it. I think this was Cody Rhodes calling it in. I think it was a safe drop for him where he could get the level of violence that he could build some kind of platform off of and still not hurt himself tremendously. So I think it was that. But yeah, that match looked like shit in a lot of spots. And I feel bad for Kevin Owens on this because he should have come out on the other side of it as champion. Either that or at the very, very, very least, we should have had a disqualification, which you couldn't have in a ladder match. They could have had a work stoppage off that Alabama slam, and it would have protected Kevin Owens a whole lot better. Kevin Owens was not protected in this match. His status within the company was not protected. And that looks like Reece yet again. Let's see if we've got a Reece sighting here.
Yeah, you've got me back on the laptop. I
Okay.
think my PC's just gave up altogether. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he re-signed. They've got Kevin Owens right where they want him now. So he's going to be the resident ROH clown for him is basically what they're going to have him set up as for the rest of his. And you know what? If he's cool earning a living like that, I'm cool with it. That's the other part of it too. If these folks are cool earning a living like this, I'm cool with them.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not going to pocket watch. If you want to be made to look a certain way and it becomes irreparable, that's on you, dog. That ain't on me. I mean,
Yeah.
I can tell you what looks good, and if you do it, great. If you don't, well, the check's still cash.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I fully agree. It's his own fault, and that ladder match genuinely offered nothing in the very end.
Mm-mm.
It offered no progression whatsoever. So, less said the better. I mean, there were some cool moves from Kevin Owens, but apart from that, to hell with it. To hell with it. There's no story advancement.
They had every parlor trick on display in this match. They used every parlor trick you could possibly use in a ladder match on this match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I don't think they left one trick out of the bag. I really don't.
Yeah. It's just sheer disgrace, and same with the short 2 out of 3 falls ends up being the fucking catering crew that cost Motor 16 Guns a time match. Again, ridiculous. Those title matches were shit. Main event Royal Rumble, well,
Garbage. Started off great with Ray and Penta.
mm-hmm.
Now I will give them credit for that. Now I will. I will not totally shit on this match.
Yeah, that was exciting. That start.
It was exciting, but it's like Catherine said earlier, they blew their load right there. They blew their entire load between now and WrestleMania right there in the first 5 minutes of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And then Andrade was just the cherry on top. Now we got all the luchas in here that you're ever going to see in a reasonable capacity. And we're going to fuck them all at one time.
Yeah. tremendously. And people were saying all last night. I'm a big Penta fan, but people were saying all last night about, oh, they haven't even sold one mask. I would rather not sell a mask, and I would rather just see Penta be Penta than not someone who's mistreated. Last night he was served to the wolves
Oh
in
yeah.
the worst way.
And don't even get me started about Jacob Fatu. They neutered that sumbitch.
Yeah, he actually had a standout moment, and then after that,
They neutered him. That's
they
it.
they kill him out. What's the? He is. He's ineffective now. That's him. His moment's gone.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman not have a fight on what, Friday or Monday?
Well, it did build up to the set. It was a fallout from Saturday's main event.
Okay, Saturday. So they had a match on Saturday.
It wasn't even really much of a match anyway, but yeah.
Did Jacob Fatu not dominate Braun Strowman in every box? Did Jacob Fatu not check every box in that ass whooping?
Oh, he ruined him completely. He ruined Braun.
All right, now let's just say, for shits and giggles, you whip my ass that bad. Do you think I'm going to come back at you for any time soon? I might wait 6 months, might wait a year. We can try it again. But do you honestly think that I'm going to be right back at you in less than 7 days?
No, I'm expecting you to run shit scared from me for a while.
I've got a button for this. I've got a button for this. It's here somewhere, I promise. Coming your way. Should sound like a wet fart, because that's how that whole thing came off as.
Yep.
That whole scene, that whole thing came off like a wet fart.
Yep, I agree.
And once again, we need to start getting used to the idea that catchphrase and gimmick is going to be your next world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, because when you look at the entrance, he comes out in number 20.
And then you get the actual enjoyment. Entrance number, weirdly enough, numbers 23, 24, and 25 are your so-called heavy hitters.
Yep.
The likes of, like, 3 in a row: Cena, Punk, Rollins.
There you go. That's what everybody paid to see right there.
And you still have it ended by that fucking Yeet Merchant.
Yeah. But what did I say in the review yesterday? If the crowd wasn't into it,
he's going the distance to the
he's
very
going
end.
the distance. What did I tell you? The crowd wasn't into it. He went the distance.
Exactly.
Because he's their guaranteed pop boy.
Yeah.
He's the guaranteed merch man.
He's had 2 main events in 16 months on pay-per-views, and he's lost them both.
Mm-hmm. And lost them convincingly, too.
Mm-hmm.
And put on the shittiest performances that a person could possibly put on and still get paid.
Mm-hmm. And we're still expecting him to be severe in the sense that it works.
I tell you what, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe I'm wrong. But whatever the fuck it is y'all do with Logan Paul down there at his little house with that little makeshift ring that makes him come out looking like $1 million, send that motherfucker down there for 2 months. Maybe we'll get a passable match out of this.
It would actually
Whatever
help.
it is.
It would help if they, in a way, do the world a favor if they just stop hiring Samoans. Because, let's be real,
they're all idiots to that extent. Like they run roughshod in the business, and they've actually ruined it for the better. JD from New York is entertaining in short spells, but I wouldn't watch a long time. I would watch a 20-minute clip. This is how far that I wouldn't watch JD. I would go as far as Nagasaki in 1945 to not watch JD. Because he is honestly the worst thing to pro wrestling. Uso run is going to be a bust, and once the yeet gets played out, it can only go so far before eventually someone goes, this doesn't work anymore. Like, just look at the what chants. They're still going, but they're used like the CM Punk name. They're used as a disrespect now.
Yep.
You don't like it, you chant what?
And a lot of WWE fans have never seen The Wizard of Oz, and it shows.
Yeah, because the yellow brick road really would be necessary.
No, when you get to the end of the yellow brick road and you see the dude behind the curtain, and now he's screaming, pay no attention to the guy behind the curtain and blah, blah, blah. Watch that scene. It's really important in life. That in a book called The Emperor's New Clothes. If you read that book and watch the last 5 minutes of fucking Wizard of Oz, you get through life a whole lot differently than you're getting through it right now. Those two experiences in your life should be mandatory for everybody.
It's actually a good cartoon. And this is something for you guys that you all need to see as well, This is for specific fans. So this is what you were treated to last night. Just as a brief recap before we absolutely annihilate the men's rumble.
You got a dumpster fire with two drunks puking?
No, this is what you got last night. There's one. There's two. Oh, there's three.
Mm-hmm.
But here's your subjection to torture.
But we got that.
Here's something else she's got last night as well. And not many people are talking about this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Joe Hendry got played out by Super Punch. Third inning.
By Super can't hit a Samoan drop.
Yeah. Super can't do anything,
Trust me, you can debate JD easily. JD has the intellectual ability of a dead pigeon. The guy is a catastrophic flop.
I had no problems going one-on-one with him. He had to block me.
He's fake.
Let him make fun of your opinion. So fucking what?
He openly admitted on his own social medias, the way he replied to himself, that he only does this for money.
Yeah.
He hates on companies just to make money. That's the type of person you shouldn't be listening to or watching. Now, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm literally trying to protect you here. I protect my community.
Yeah.
And he's openly said that. He watches WWE. He watched WWE during that period of time because they were in the shit. He needed money. He watches
AEW on WWE. Yeah,
exactly, and he watches AEW now for the exact same reason. Like, he is the definition of someone you cannot buy into and enjoy and respect.
Catch him on the spot. Catch him on the spot. Tell me he's got 3 minutes to tell you 5 things he loves about WWE. If he doesn't do it in 3 minutes, he doesn't love the company. You don't know what I can tell you right now? Here's 3 minutes right now. This is what I love about AEW. Okay? Number 1, it's an independent promotion to WWE. Number 2, they do book stars that nobody else will touch, and they make stars out of people that nobody else will touch. That's a bonus. Number 3, they actually have violence in there. Number 4, unprotected chair shots because they're gimmick chairs, and I understand why. I like the level of violence in there. Number 5, I like the level of sexuality in there. They let women be women and men be men. Now, I don't necessarily like the MXM collection thing, because to
God,
me
they
it's kind of
suck.
fucking zesty. But they let them do it. Now, see, in less than 30 seconds, I named 5 reasons why I like AEW. Here we go with New Japan. Number 1, the main reason is the 20 count. Love the 20 count, gives you a lot more to work with. Number 2, they have up-and-coming stars, and they have divisions to build up-and-coming stars. The junior heavyweights, the Lions, you name it. They got something for everybody in that thing. Number 3, they give you one hell of a pay-per-view just like AEW does. You may not understand half of what they're saying, but the shit is good. Number 4, they are not afraid to have violence. And number 5, they like sexuality, and they let men be men and women be women. So inside of a minute and a half, I named 5 things on either company that I like and why I like it. And I didn't hesitate any bit. Now ask that dumb motherfucker to do the same thing and give him 3 minutes. You won't get an answer.
Yeah. I mean, I can literally do the same on top of my head for any promotion.
Mm-hmm.
You name any, and I'll do the exact same.
TNA.
Knockouts division's the best women's division booked regardless in America still, even though it doesn't have the talent they did 15 years ago. They openly and will produce young talent that they will like to build their divisions around. Ace Austin. Chris Bay, sadly, has got injured, but he's an example. You've got Leon Slater as well. You've also got a perfect blend of young talent and veterans to allow the division to grow. Also, the length of time for tag teams. They actually allow tag teams to breathe, which not just in the sense of they allow the matches to breathe, but they allow the tag teams to actually breathe the chemistry. They are able to go out and say, you know what, we can't get the big venues anymore, so we're going to go small. But they actually make the crowd still engaging. Now they're going back to big venues, and guess what? The crowd is still engaging. They actually understand their levels and they go to it.
That was one I could have added for AEW as well. They understand that they've not been selling out stuff, so they go to smaller venues, which is what the fucking WWE drones have complained about. You can't sell an arena out. Okay, we'll go find a venue we can sell, and it's going to sound hyped as if they were in 25,000 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
They do what they need to do to get ahead, and I have no problem with that. Now, you give JD that thing right there, and he'll be 30 minutes trying to find 5 fucking things he likes because he doesn't watch the product critically. He can't tell you 5 things he likes, but he can damn sure tell you 50 things he doesn't like because that's what he watches to look for. See, I didn't watch Royal Rumble last night to look for that, and if you were in my watch along, I was as positive as I could possibly be about that product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I dare anybody to argue with me about the level of positivity I put in that because I do it from a fan perspective and a fan only. I do not analyze it unless it's something so brain-numbingly, mind-blowingly fucking stupid. Then I will say something about it.
Case in point, I was about to say Samoa Joe. The Samoan Orange Cassidy win the Royal Rumble last night.
Exactly. When that happened, I'm like, you know what, guys? If you like him, that's great, but they messed up. Yeah. And I didn't even say they fucked up. I said they messed up. Now I can say they fucked up.
Massively.
No, actually, Ring of Honor does have a 20 count.
It's not as effective as the...
They don't use it the right way, but they have it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They doesn't, like, Ring of Honor doesn't, because they don't have the ability to use it the right way, which is a shame. Nobody should be using the Twitch, and I said New Japan. It's just their concept, and that's how it should be made.
It's their thing. Yeah, it's one of those things you shouldn't do. But absolutely. I mean, literally in less than a minute and a half, I was able to tell you 5 things about 2 different organizations that I follow and I like and why I like them. Reece was able to tell you in under about a minute and a half the 5 things, or even less, what he likes about TNA.
Yeah.
And I can tell you about 5 things that I like about WWE. Number 1, they do actually have good talent there. Yes. It's not like they have shit talent. And when that talent goes off on its own, like I have seen them do, they put on phenomenal matches. They do have great venues and they have fucking phenomenal production.
Mhm.
WWE is top level on production.
Mhm.
And number 5 out of that is occasionally they do give back to children. I'm a Mason, and that's all we do. We have children's hospitals. We take care of disadvantaged families. So
Yeah.
every once in a while, they'll fuck up and do something good for kids. So if I really, really am looking for reasons to like the product, that's it. If you're asking me about their booking sucks donkey dick. It could suck start a garage find Harley that hasn't been turned on in 30 years. It could suck start that.
Yeah.
And that's putting it mildly.
And here's the foregone conclusion that people also choose to ignore. People would come back in that response, and this is why I like the Steelchair community, because people are absolutely reading between the lines. And this is what I find weird for other channels that do the exact same thing that I do, where they just speak their mind and they're honest, but they also actually try to enjoy what they're watching. They don't fake about it. Like, absolutely, like, there's no way somebody can watch a product and actually review it and it comes across fake, unless it's JD. Then it is absolutely fake because it's his own words. If you go back through every single stream that I have done, categorically I'm very fair about every promotion, even though some people think I absolutely hate WWE, which is a lie. I don't. If I hated WWE, I would never go to WWE shows. Plain and simple, I would never have gone to those pay-per-views if I hated them. Because that would make no sense. I would be wasting my money to go see something I hate. But when you openly say what the faults are for a company, automatically, oh, you just hate them. You must want them to die. No, I don't want a company to die. I just want things to be different and be better. That's actually not asking for anything wrong. It's actually being fair. When you look at the Rumble last night, the writing was on the wall for two people. Number 1 is John Cena, and number 2 is CM Punk.
Mhm.
People came into this Rumble, and people are justifying it in this way, and their excuse, and I think it's ridiculous. Oh, but WWE swerved us. It's not predictable that Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. But so why are you not saying that about the Women's Rumble? Oh, but it's Charlotte Flair. Well, no, but that doesn't matter. Are you trying to say it's not predictable because it's not Cena or Punk?
That's a
I'm sorry,
coping mechanism. That's a
people
coping mechanism.
people came into this Rumble for two reasons. One of them was, is CM Punk going to get his long-awaited Royal Rumble win that he should have got in 2014, but they packed him off in favour of Batista, so he quit, rightly so. Or are we going to get John Cena, who ties Stone Cold for the most Rumble wins, and he goes on to his last ever WrestleMania main event, potentially to win a championship? People say, oh, it's an issue with being predictable. There is nothing wrong with being predictable when it's actually going to something that people are actually wanting or what they're coming for. Like, let's
Holy
be...
shit. Go ahead.
What? Like,
No,
this is the funniest thing of, like, this is actually going to be the funniest thing I'm ever going to say, so people in the chat, you actually have my permission to laugh. This is literally the funniest thing I will ever say. You come into a show knowing that your favorites are actually the favorites to win the match, because it's what you've been asking for. It's actually what the company is catering to in that way. And then they decide, just because somebody says the word yeet, that he stole from an indie worker. Just remember that. He's making money off an indie worker, and they were forced to settle that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you've got somebody who's in his final main event run with your company, who even I never liked the guy, but he carried them for over a decade. Like that's a fundamental fact.
Yep.
And you've also got CM Punk, who was the indies wrestler that they actually admired and were buzzing to see him back in WWE. So, first of all, you shit on all the CM Punk fans. There's the tail of a coin. That's the tail.
Mm-hmm.
And then you shit on the head of the company. So there's Cena and there's CM Punk. And you choose to put all your eggs in one basket with the Samoan Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am not a fan of Roman Reigns, but if you're a Roman Reigns fan, he might get a match with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Cool. But let's be real, if you're a Roman Reigns fan, that's not what you wanted last night.
Nope.
If you're a CM Punk fan last night, that's not what you wanted.
Nope.
If you're
just figured it out.
If you're a fan of those people, you're done for. So there's a coin, and I'm just going to Harvey Dent you.
Okay.
Split down the middle. There you go.
I'm going to piggyback on that too.
Go ahead. My last comment on this as well before I let you do this.
Go ahead.
Last thing on this. I'm actually glad that The Rock didn't pull a fast one. I'm glad he wasn't there and did a fast one at all. Because even then, myself as a Rock fan, I would have generally wanted to just disappear. I'm a big fan of AJ Styles, and look what they did to him last night. They had him eliminated by Logan fucking Paul. If you are a fan of this company, and we all are, I've been a fan of this company for over 20 years, but I'm also a big fan of the talent. Specific talent. If you're watching your favourites in this match last night, you've just been, to quote Shawn Michaels, you've just been old yellered. You just got the Ric Flair WrestleMania 24 treatment.
I'm getting ready to hit something here. If you want to clip this, go right ahead and clip it, because I'm getting ready to drop a bomb here. Because it dawned on me. It dawned on me when you were talking. When you were talking, I put the pieces together. The nickel dropped.
No.
Paul Levesque, Stephanie Levesque, Dwayne Johnson, Ari, cancel me, bitch. I dare you. Steve Austin is not going to fuck you. He's not going to fuck with you. He's not going to fuck you. None of you built him. So if sticking that ending to Cena, and I'm going to be honest with you, I watched that press release, and Cena's an actor, but he ain't that fucking good. He was visibly shaken that he didn't win the Royal Rumble. Steve Austin is not coming back to your programming, so give it the fuck up. Stop twerking for a guy who doesn't even think you exist anymore. He's got his bag. He's got his television shows. He's got everything he wants out of life. He ain't going to fuck with you.
And he's got Poncho.
And he's got Poncho, whoever the hell that is.
That's his cap.
I hadn't seen that part of it. But what I'm trying to say, though, is when you said Cena wasn't going to tie or go over Steve Austin, the nickel dropped right there. Because I've been banging my head all day trying to figure out why in the world you don't give Cena this and spare the Canadians. Spare the Canadians. There's a seat in that building right now going for $25,000. Spare them the Cena experience and give it to him.
It may be Pacho. I can't remember what his name of this guy is. Stopped working. Exactly.
Exactly. And I'm sitting on the edge of my seat to drop this one.
Go for it.
Because that's really exactly what that was exactly about. Steve Austin wouldn't fuck with him on Saturday night's main event. That's why they had to roll The Undertaker in. Steve Austin was supposed to have had that spot to put Rhea Ripley over. Steve said, thanks, but no fucking thanks. I don't want anything to do with you. And it ain't that he doesn't want anything to do with WWE. He doesn't want anything to do with Paul Levesque. And there's my damn phone again. I'll be right back.
His Rumble... Here's a funny comment, and I'll repeat it when he comes. Actually, I'm going to put it as a banner. This is just for Matt. This is just for Matt.
And I'm back. No, we've got my shoot job is very intricate, and it just so happens that it falls flat on a Sunday today. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, because he said, I'm sorry to interrupt your stream, but I need this, and I gave it to him. It's no big deal. The fact of the matter is that everything that was done last night to try to placate the people that they were trying to placate. And you know what? Let's backtrack here for a minute, because I only got about 15 more minutes and I got to run.
Me too.
So let's backtrack for a minute. Alexa, sweetie. I'm sorry, I take that part back because I know you don't like to be called that. Alexa, young lady, they fucked you over too.
Oh, yeah.
They fucked you over big time. They got you to take whatever deal it was to get your ass in the ring, and they fucked you. Okay? And by the way, Tiffany Stratton is not going to be that. You can put her with Charlotte Flair. You can put her with Jesus Christ, and she's not going to come out as the wrestler you want her to be.
We said it before. We said it before. Her promos are genuinely a problem.
Her promos suck. And nobody's talking about that.
Except us.
My name is that voice.
I actually wonder, and it's actually quite creepy. Wade Barrett's commentary last night, it wasn't for the women, it was about the men, so maybe we're missing something. But every time LA Knight hit a punch last night, he was like, oh, my loins. And I'm like, please, sir, can you contain yourself? But this is what I'm actually going to say, so this might come across wrong, but I'm just trying to voice it in the right way.
Just go on and spit it. That's what I've been doing.
No, I am. I'm just composing myself before I burst out laughing. Tiffany Stratton's voice is like what happens when you staple is when you staple the nut off C-3PO and then reboot him. She's like a rebooted C-3PO with a stapled loin.
She sounds like a fucking droid. That's exactly it.
This is not the droid you're looking for. Actually, we want that one.
Yeah, she wasn't the droid we were looking for to begin with.
She really, and we did give her some flowers on the preview last night. We're not going to divert that. We did say she's got all the athletic ability in the world. But she talks like a robot. She looks like she's reading off a script.
She looks like a woman that I would just say, shut the fuck up. What do you want to eat? About
Absolutely.
halfway through the thing, mentally you're sitting there going, "Shut the fuck up! Where are we going to eat?"
Yeah, you're about 5 minutes in. We're like, I'm hungry.
Yeah, exactly. I've been waiting 5 minutes for you to make up your fucking mind. Just make up your fucking mind. I'm hungry.
Yeah,
You know?
and it's rather fitting last night, and it is actually really fitting in a way that her droid voice complemented the fact that her droid partner was crap in the men's rumble. So you've got R2D2
And
stinking out
Ludwig
the
Nazi.
yeah. So you've got Tiffany S2D2, and you've got Ludwig C3PO, and
I demand.
collectively it's like listening to "This is not the droid you're looking for."
I demand you sue that plastic surgeon that fucked you up. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and tell me this. Tell me
It's
this.
it's the NXT way by the looks of it.
This is the part that mentally fucks with you.
Yeah.
When you get eliminated like that, okay? When you get eliminated like that, did somebody just tell him he couldn't pull a Hogan?
Yeah.
Did somebody just flat ass fucking tell him, no, you can't do that, only Hulk Hogan can do it?
I genuinely felt for Ludwig in the way he got eliminated last night.
I did
That-
too, but make it mean something. Have him pull a Hogan, grab the dude, pull him over the top rope.
Mm-hmm. Worst thing about that as well is the way he went over. I was getting Taka Michinoku vibes from Rumble 2000 in the garden. The way he
Yeah.
went down on his face.
Yeah.
Like that's a no-no.
And Tozawa,
I know. That's
for
cold.
real, that was cold as hell.
Yeah, what did Tozawa do to deserve that?
And actually, that would have been a better spot than to have the fucking podcaster. I don't even remember his name. I'm glad he's popular with 3 million people, but fuck.
Yeah, I show speed. Oh,
I show stupid.
Speaking of I show speed, it's funny how he had the balls to get in the ring, but Kai Cenat was calling him out. Yeah, funny that, Mister? Set your ass in the crowd where you belong. You
Exactly. Enjoy the. Well, the good news is no. There is a feel good story out of this. There is a feel good story out of this. Snooki, your fat ass is off the schneid. Okay, your fat ass is off the schneid. You are not the worst fucking person to ever get in a ring again. Snooki, your ass is saved.
Oh, I need another carry-on.
Damn.
I did not expect that.
Told you I had bombs.
I think that was Snooki's ass.
I got a few H-bombs out there too, you know.
Mm.
Congratulations, Snooki. You are not the worst fucking product to ever get in the ring anymore.
No,
I show
I
speed
agree.
covered that. Cleared you. You're cleared now.
You know what's even worse about that?
God.
You know what's even? It's not just that as well. What did I Show Speed get last night?
Fucked up.
He got an elimination.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever he eliminated, I can't remember. But whoever he eliminated last night, I'm sorry, but your career is officially over.
Yep, your career is done, and
It was a great spear, the guy. I will give you that. It was a great spear. That spear to me felt personal.
Bruh.
He eliminated the what was it I called him when And
He eliminated Otis. Yeah, he eliminated Otis.
if you get, oh wait, no, I was gonna say if you get a chance, but you can't because they blocked Matthew's stream because WWE's an absolute joke. On Matthew's stream last night, because obviously I was like 30 seconds ahead of Matthew, so I did obviously not intentionally, but I did say a few people who came out for the Rumble matches, and then when Otis came out, I said, "Here comes Chubby Flubby."
Exactly. Now I'm still good. I'm still good on X. I'm still there on X.
Oh, that's a relief.
But yeah, YouTube's a bunch of scathing little bitches,
Yeah,
and I don't care how that tastes going down.
but
But
Otis was already a joke. Last night, IShowSpeed made him look like an even bigger joke.
and the
Otis,
problem
your
is he
crew's
can
done.
wrestle.
Exactly.
Otis is a good wrestler. So is oh God,
Tozawa? Maxine
Cesaro's a
Dupree?
good wrestler too. But I was going back to the women's match.
Maxine.
No. Stop saying names. I won't remember. Piper Niven. Piper Niven is a fucking phenomenal shoot wrestler. Phenomenal. To be as big as she is, she moves like a lucha. I've seen her. I've seen it with my own two fucking eyes.
I'm just trying to see which comment James is saying's comment tonight because there's been a few great ones tonight. Yeah, like I've
But
never
no,
liked
Piper
Otis,
Niven
but...
can fucking go, and they treat her like she's a clown.
Oh yeah.
And they, Otis can go too. If they, I'll tell you one thing: if Otis went out there and shoot wrestled, you wouldn't recognize him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If he showed up with a mask on, you'd recognize him by body mass. But once he started wrestling, you wouldn't fucking recognize him at all.
Oh, the Snooki comments are absolutely dope. Shout out to Matt for the Snooki comments. Like,
Yeah, if y'all want to clip that, go ahead and clip it because I mean every fucking period, word, space, exclamation point of that sentence. Snooki, your fat ass is off the schneid. You're in good shape now. You're not the worst fucking performer they've ever had.
AKA Dewdrop. Yeah.
And I hate when they did that shit to her too because that's a lesbian reference.
Mm-hmm. That is true. But
It's a lesbian reference. I didn't really appreciate when they did that fucking shit to her.
Speaking of lesbians.
Yeah, Team Strap-On got their ass handed to them last night.
There's actually there's actually a crazy bit of coincidence that happened last night as well. So you had the pure lesbian collection, all in the ring. Only one of them's actually worth watching. And they were all eliminated before the one person who should never been in the Rumble to begin with. They were all eliminated at the same time before Jada Parker appeared.
That was another one they fucked up.
Exactly. What's
They
happening
buried
with Drew?
her
No
ass.
idea. Oh yeah, they did.
They
The
buried
guy-
her ass.
Oh yeah, they did. The guy saying what's happening with Drew. Don't know. We'll find out Monday.
Drew doesn't know what's happening with Drew, okay? And frankly, you dumbass, you signed on the fucking dotted line. You deserved it. Now, I'm not even... I was a Drew defender because I kind of felt like a lot of his promos had a little bit of shoot and a little bit of angle in them. And you could hear the shoot.
Oh yeah.
If you know what you're listening for, you can hear the shoot.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But Dwayne brought you a nice shiny sword, so fuck you too. You deserve exactly what happened, Drew, and I don't give a fuck whether you like it or not. Blast me, I dare you. Go ahead, put me on blast. I fucking dare you to do it, you dumb motherfucker. They were fucking you before they re-signed you. What the hell made you think they were going to stop fucking you?
I agree.
Yeah,
with
he's
that.
wasted. He's going to be wasted when this contract's over with.
Yep.
Maybe not physically, but character-wise and everything else. Dude, he deserves every bit of it too. I'm not going to be sympathetic for somebody who walked in eyes wide open after they already ran the circuit, after they already looked at it from the outside looking in, and they saw the bullshit they were walking into, and they said, "Well, looks good to me." Yeah, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I don't want to hear anybody else complaining about, not you guys in particular, but when I see it on the twits, I just block them.
Here's a funny thing as well. People were last night were saying, "Oh, but there was stories coming from the Rumble last night." This is my last comment before we wrap up tonight. People said there were stories coming from the Rumble. Correct me if I'm wrong, but what's Drew McIntyre's entire story?
I don't think Drew knows what his entire story is anymore, but he's supposed to be a Scottish psychopath on a quest to win and actually retain a world title for longer than 15 minutes.
And it's also to prove that Roman Reigns is the problem.
Yeah.
And guess who? He's not even going to get the the WrestleMania match now where it matters.
Yeah, he's not going to get Roman. He's not going to get any of that.
He is going to get probably either Sami Zayn or Damian Priest.
He's going to get Damian Priest.
Yeah. And what an absolute downgrade. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with us tonight. We will be in better spirits because tomorrow I'll be reviewing out because I haven't watched it. I'm going to go watch it now. Tomorrow I will be reviewing Collision. Hopefully my PC will be
good. Yeah.
Hope my PC will behave by then because we'll get Matthew on for the Collision review if he's around. But in the meantime, we're going to bounce. Check out Graps TV. Catherine was here earlier on. Check out the Mid Podcast and check out Covey on TV. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching.
Absolutely. Yeah, because he's the star. I'm just showing up.
I'm the draw.
He's the draw. I'm just here. So,
and also, please subscribe to the Weekly Steelchair as well. It's most appreciated. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We will see you tomorrow. Stay safe and bye-bye.